that this game wasn't for them, and really it is for them, and that it's their game, and that they have ownership of it, and that they are the future of the game, and we're going to see that continue to transcend what happens on the football field.
We all love football, and now we have a little bit of that football in us because girls can also play football as well.
Hancock Stadium getting ready for the 8th and final championship game this weekend. It is Loyola taking on York, and it's up next right here on the IHSA television network.
We're going to need more fuel, a renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
We're going to need more fuel, a renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Hancock Stadium getting ready for its 8th championship game of the weekend. Loyola taking on York. It's the Ramblers and Dukes up next.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
My experience with Empire was amazing. The price that I got, along with the service, the special attention, the one-on-one, you can't beat that.
800-588-2300 Empire. Today, your emblem of devotion. Have your engagement ring custom made by the Jewelry Exchange. Choose a 1-carat lab-grown diamond for $5.99 or a natural GIA for $19.90. 18K mounts are $4.99. Thousands of choices, always the best deal. The Jewelry Exchange, Villa Park.
Alongside Kenny McReynolds and Edgy Tim O'Halloran, I'm Marshall Harris here on our IHSA Television Network studios, getting ready for the 8A state championship game. It is York. It is Loyola. Should be a good one.
Should be a good one. And Loyola may be the best 12 seed that we've ever seen because they play that Catholic League Blue schedule. They're tough. Ryan Fitzgerald, their quarterback, is the star. And, of course, Drew McPherson is the Catholic League Blue most valuable player. He rushed for over 1,000 yards.
Again, for the Dukes, it's Bruno Mazel. Let's start with Mazel. Really talented, two-way dual threat, run, throw, very talented. To me, can York play at their pace and not Loyola's pace? Mm-hmm. Loyola loves controlling tempo and pace of game. If I'm York, I'm busting all that up.
All right, we will see how these two teams will fare. Of course, Loyola, they're trying to prove that the third time is indeed the charm, looking for a three-peat, trying to follow in the footsteps of Nazareth Academy earlier today. And then, of course, you just saw Mount Carmel get its third straight state championship. For more on this game and maybe who to keep an eye on when these two teams take the field, let's head out to Hancock Stadium and Dave and Chris. Guys?
Thanks, Marshall, Edgy, and Kenny. Glad to have you with us here. And I think you guys stole a little bit of our thunder because we've got a couple of players we'd like to talk about. We'll get Chris Hyland's perspective. First of all, it's going to be a different-looking quarterback than you saw in our 7A game. That was Jack Elliott. How about Bruno Mazel from York?
Well, he can do a little bit of everything, right? He's a 1,000-yard rusher at a quarterback position, as well as a 1,000-yard passer. He's really what makes this offense go for York. They're going to have the ball in his hands on every single snap. He has to have a tremendous game if they want to upset Loyola here tonight.
Well, as Kenny just said, the player of the year, the Catholic League Offensive Player of the Year for Loyola Academy. There he is, number 34, Drew McPherson.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about Loyola's quarterback tonight, but it's really Drew McPherson in the backfield for Loyola that makes this thing go. They really like to rely on that big offensive line, run downhill with McPherson. He had over 1,000 yards this year for Loyola. Should be a great matchup against two great teams here tonight in 8A.
Well, you mentioned it. We had to wait a couple of hours. Fine with us. Folks out there in the field, that was a long 2 hours. We're not going to wait any longer. We're going to send it back to Marshall, Edgy, and Kenny. Take it away, guys.
And you guys won't have to wait until too long for kickoff because it's up next right here on the IHSA Television Network.
All right, let's go. I'll shop for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself.
Don't forget toys for the dog.
Rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of salutes. Capture this moment and go forward together.
It's time for Christmas at Cantini. A time for laughter and joy. A time for cherished moments by coming together with the ones you love. Be awed by twinkling lights. Feel the thrill of gliding on ice. And enjoy the cozy warmth of s'mores by the fire. Cherish the moments together this holiday season at Christmas at Canteen. Get your tickets at Cantini.org.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
You can call it the 8A state championship game, or what we like to call it, IHSA After Dark. It's York and Loyola coming up next right here. Ready for kickoff?
Well, hey, can Loyola bottle up Massa, who was a track star, is going to be difficult.
We talk about the Loyola line play. Can Joseph Reif and those guys up front go toe-to-toe at Loyola for 4 quarters? We'll find out.
All right, 7 games down, just 1 left to go. Let's get it back out to Dave and Chris for kickoff in the 8A title game.
Thank you very much, Marshall, and we are indeed ready to roll. We've talked about in this entire state playoffs and the finals here, we've got some familiarity. Same thing here with York and Loyola.
Yeah, you're right. Loyola has beaten York the last 2 years, not here at the state title, but finally York has punched their ticket to the state title. They get their chance at revenge against Loyola tonight. This is going to be a really fun one to close out an unbelievable weekend of football here at Hancock Stadium.
You know, and speaking of the York Dukes, as Chris said, just kind of getting over the hump for York. 3 straight trips to the semifinals, and now they get a chance right here to take the field in the state championship ball game. What an accomplishment for this group of players from York. They had to navigate an interesting road to get here to the state championship ball game. They end up with a big win, surprisingly big win over Edwardsville to get it started. Dominated Oswego, took care of Warren, and then a tough-fought battle to win over Naperville Central. For Loyola Academy, this is a familiar turf. They started the season here against East St. Louis. They dropped that ball game. They've been here the last couple of years, not necessarily on this field. Last year was here at Hancock Stadium. They won the title. The year before that, they won the state championship at the University of Illinois. So the Ramblers will look to do what Nazareth Academy and Mount Carmel have done before them, and that's win their 3rd state title in a row. So the Ramblers set to take the field. This is how they got there. Big wins over Belleville East. A hard-fought game against Marist. Took care of Maine South. And then in a classic matchup with Lincoln Way East, eliminated the Griffins after falling behind in that ball game. Came back to win. So it's Loyola back here to defend a state championship. We have the Class 8A championship coming up. It's the Ramblers from Loyola Academy, the Dukes from York. It's coming up next, right here from Hancock Stadium.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual. We're always there.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Nine o'clock here on a Saturday night, the final high school football game of the year matches York and Loyola Academy. Welcome back to Hancock Stadium. Along with Chris Highland, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Third member of our broadcast crew is down the field. That is Nicole Sedevi.
Thank you, Dave. Well, you and Chris talked about Drew McPherson of the Ramblers and his running game as one of the key players to watch. He has over 1,000 yards rushing. We've heard it a bunch of times. I'm sure we'll hear his name a lot throughout this podcast. But when I spoke to head coach Bo Deschereaux from the Ramblers this week, he said something that won't show up on the stat sheets and something that people don't talk about enough is his ability to block. Well, we'll see it tonight as the Ramblers get started on offense first. McPherson is going out there with his senior quarterback and best friend Ryan Fitzgerald to kick off this 8A class title game.
All right, they're both headed to Iowa following this game, following their conclusion of their senior year in high school. 23 degrees here at kickoff. It feels like 12 degrees the wind coming out of the west at about 12 miles per hour, and that to you at home means it's coming from the near side to the far side. York did win the toss. They chose to defer to the Ramblers to get the ball first. For York, it'll be John O'Connor to kick off. Deep for the Ramblers, who have really come on strong this season. 11-2 on the season, but back deep it'll be Donovan Jordan. You're looking at him right there. Number 1, he's headed to the University of Washington. We'll see him a lot in the secondary as well. So a long wait. John O'Connor will get this thing started.
You can feel the energy in the building here. These guys are ready to go. They've been waiting a long time for their opportunity to shine here on the biggest stage in the state. And here we go. The 8A game about to get underway.
This one is short. No fair catch called. And being buried immediately on the return. For Loyola Academy, that was Zach Hollibar. Your starting lineups tonight for this 8A championship game presented by OSF. Ryan Fitzgerald returns at quarterback. There is Drew McPherson. Great receivers in Carlson, Kane, and Loftus along with Vredenberg. And on the offensive front, a huge offensive line led by Joey Herbert in the middle of that line, the center. Fitzgerald will shift a couple of tight ends to the right side. Reteeks takes a hit, complete. Quick early catch from Will Carlson. And a penalty flag goes down on our first offensive play from scrimmage.
They don't go downfield. 55 Loyola. The 5-yard penalty will replay first down.
The referee is Dave Bowman. Also in the crew with him, Josh Olson, Kenny Hanshaw, Mark Jontry, and Kevin Copeland. An ineligible player downfield starts this, and for Loyola and Ryan Fitzgerald, it'll be 1st and 15. Loyola offense averages 31 points per game. York gives up just 16. McPherson the carry. He bursts through to the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of almost 9 yards. And here are your defensive starters for York, and those starting lineup presented by OSF. Joseph Reed headed to Notre Dame. He anchors that defensive line. We'll see him also on the offensive side. Jimmy Connors goes both ways. Leading tackler is Evan Gaughan, one of the linebackers. And the defensive secondary, Eddie Sika, Aiden Link, Drew Richardson, and Riggs Cole. Fitzgerald on the handoff. Bouncing to the outside, but that is it. Denied on the play that time by Eddie Sika.
A couple of good stops there by the York defense as they force a quick third down here for Loyola. Loyola's going to spend a lot of time in this 2 tight end set, and why wouldn't you when you got 2 guys like that can lead block for Drew McPherson. Fitzgerald will move the ball a little bit with his legs. We'll see if they give it to him here on 3rd down.
And able to control it, and luckily so is McPherson. And he is quickly swallowed up, and that will force a quick punt here for the Ramblers.
Ball was right in Fitzgerald's hands there. Just popped out on the exchange. It's a good snap. They're lucky that that ball falls right into the lap of Drew McPherson. so that they can get this punt off. That could have spelled disaster for Loyola. York with a lot of momentum in the first couple of minutes here of this ball game.
Simon Kodowski is deep for York. The punter, Zach Zeman, gives him a lot of respect. Zeman spirals this one down. Kodowski will let it hit at the 25. Make a pretty good roll there for Loyola. And the York Dukes will bring their offense on the field, and they will start inside their own 20-yard line. Starting lineups for York. And, of course, your lineups presented by OSF. We talked about Bruno Masso. There's Jimmy Connors going both ways. Fenton Helm along with Hunter Stepanek. Stepanek is a two-way player as well for the Dukes. And up front, Jack Bodak anchors that offensive line. And on the right side, there you see Joseph Reif. So Bruno Massel. Short handoff, short gain near the 20-yard line. Loyola Academy started the season 1-2. A loss to East St. Louis right here on this field, 34-7. East St. Louis, of course, winning the 6A title, and then in Game 3 fell 35-21 to Wheaton St. Francis. That's when Ryan Fitzgerald was injured. But since then, Loyola has run the table. Massel will keep it himself. Bruno Massel, a sprinter, a state qualifier. Is able to stay on his feet until the mass of scarlet maroon buries him under.
Looks like he might be just shy here on third down, but you talked about the start to the year for this Loyola Academy team, Dave. This is not a program that is accustomed to having a losing record at any point in the season. Doesn't matter when it is. And for them to go 1-2, and then the run that they have pulled off has been incredible to see, especially the injuries they've battled through. This team has really come together at the right time, and they're playing their best football right now.
Undefeated state champions a year ago. To the outside, there's room to go. To the 40-yard line, still his feet at the 50. Down to the 40. On the move is Connors, and it's a 74-yard touchdown run. Jimmy Connors. And York strikes first.
What a start for York. Third down and 1. I think everybody in the building thought they were going to keep it in the hands of Bruno Massel. Instead, they go with Connors, and why not? He's got over 800 yards on the season. And that right there might have been the biggest run of his entire career, as you're going to see him break loose for a 74-yard house call. What a start for York.
You absolutely cannot draw it up any better in an early 7-0 lead for the Dukes.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of salutes. Capture this moment and go forward together.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself.
Don't forget toys for the dog.
Rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Don Gelsomino, the head coach in his first year at York as the head coach, happy what he has seen, and this is what he saw just moments ago.
Well, York does a really nice job with the arc block by the tight end here. They're going to leave the defensive tackle unblocked in that three-man front, and Massel might even be reading that because you saw there were two offensive linemen going the other direction. That's a really popular play right now in high school football where they're sending the offensive line and they're trying to get that defense in motion one direction. You're actually going to pull two guys that way, and all Massel, the quarterback's going to do is he's going to read that defensive end. And if the defensive end crashes, he hands the ball on the sweep to the outside. That's exactly what he does. When he gives the ball to Connors there and he's off to the races, he's only got to make one man miss. He does that, and it's a 74-yard touchdown run to start the game for York.
So the decision to defer until the second half certainly plays out nicely for the York Dukes. John O'Connor will hit it high, short. Don't want to give Robinson any chance here for a return. It'll be good field position for Loyola Academy. And they will have it at about the 35-yard line. Gavin Bradenberg on that short return. And here come the Ramblers. Loyola averaging 324 yards of offense per game this season.
That first drive stalled on that very first penalty that we saw on play number 1.
Fitzgerald, time, quick pop to McPherson. McPherson avoids one man, takes a big hit, and is buried down. We talked about McPherson on the ground over 1,000 yards. He is also the leading receiver, 56 catches for 678 yards coming in. He gets 13 on that catch.
Well, if you've watched Loyola in the last couple of years in the state title game, he's been all over the football field. They like to split him out. They can put him in the backfield. He can do just about everything. And you're going to see him in a lot of spots tonight. But he's kind of the Swiss Army knife for this offense that really makes everything go.
McPherson again. He'll get to the outside. Angles nicely to the sideline. Tiptoes his way along there, and they will put this down at the 41-yard line in York territory.
This is where Loyola is so dangerous. When you can put Chase Williamson and Brandon Loftus on the same side, and they can swallow up safeties and corners on sweeps like that and set the edge for a guy like McPherson who runs the ball hard, I mean, that's really tough to stop. You're going to see both those guys now are split out to the bottom of your screen. They like to run screen passes to the outside here. Let's see if they do it.
Fitzgerald to keep. He is grabbed from behind, dragged down after a pickup of about 3 yards. That was Joe Reef that just bear hugged him down.
Yeah, that looked to be like a little bit of a run-pass option there where they could have thrown the screen. Instead, Fitzgerald decides to take it himself.
Keys to the Game are brought to you by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Well, if you're York, you want to try and control the clock and play keep away from Loyola if you can. They got a good offense. You know they're going to score. But if York can control time of possession in this game, I think they have a good chance to win. If you're Loyola, you got to stay on schedule.
Fitzgerald, good patience out there.
And Dave, if I can continue on that, what does it mean to stay on schedule? It means that you got to get yourself into second and third down and manageable. You don't want to play from behind the chains too much because then you allow York to really pin their ears back, get pressure on the quarterback, and also they can also try and sit back in their zone defense that they like to play. So that's what Loyola has to do offensively is continue to move the ball with McPherson, stay on schedule if you can.
And last catch by Gavin Bradenberg. His dad Tyler is the offensive coordinator for the Ramblers.
McPherson in the Wildcat.
He's able to pick his holes. Inside the 25 to the 20, still churning forward down to about the 18-yard line. And McPherson and the Wildcat, Fitzgerald was split wide to the left, and that's not a bad man to have downfield blocking for you. So Loyola Academy getting yardage in chunks. Ramblers on their second possession inside the red zone. Fitzgerald looking to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Will Carlson for 18 yards from Ryan Fitzgerald. And the Ramblers an extra point away from tying it up. Will Carlson, 6 foot, 188-pound senior, with his 9th touchdown catch of the year for Fitzgerald, his 22nd touchdown pass throwing.
And you're going to watch him go up and get it. What a job there by Carlson, the senior, to go grab that football. It's just a smash concept by Loyola on the outside. The furthest outside receiver is going to run a little hitch. That's going to hold the corner down in that low zone. And then the corner route by the inside receiver over the top to the back pylon. Fitzgerald puts an outstanding ball right on Carlson, and we got a tie ball game.
Fitzgerald 3 of 3 in that drive, 3 different receivers. Carlson the touchdown grab.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash, our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Now, we said both teams, as well as both fan bases, had to wait a while for this game to start, 2 hours after their scheduled kickoff time. But here's the road to normal, and it's brought to you by the Illinois State Police. Integrity, service, pride. York hails from Elmhurst, western suburb of Chicago, and for Loyola Academy up on the North Shore. Ramblers from Wilmette, they are in Cook County. They have that longer journey down here to Hancock Stadium, a trip they made last year en route to a state championship. So you talk about time of possession versus the big play. Well, the one single big play came from York. The time of possession, thanks to double-digit gains down the drive, goes to Bo Deschro's team, and that's the Loyola Academy Ramblers.
Yeah, back and forth we go early on in this first quarter. We just saw 89 points in the 7A game. We might see a high-scoring game here as well if the defenses don't make a couple of adjustments after those first few drives by each team.
Zach Zeman does all the kicking. Didn't start kicking until his freshman year. He actually tried out as a linebacker. That didn't work out, so he became a kicker. Finn Helm is deep for York, standing right on the goal line. And he will not get a chance. Good leg there from Zeman. Sends it into the end zone, and York will start from the 20. It was such a quick offensive possession. The last time York had the ball, we didn't get a chance to give you the defensive starters. Those starting lineups are presented by OSF. Tommy Ghislandi headed to Army. In the middle of that, along with Kai Calcutt. And for the linebackers, always a good bunch. How about this? Charlie Daly, John Baum, and Gavin King. The secondary, we already mentioned Donovan Robinson, headed to University of Washington, along with Charlie Pryor, anchors that secondary. York on the ground, no gain on first down. Bruno Massel has thrown for almost 1,100 yards. Actually, he's thrown for almost 1,500 yards. He's rushed for 1,100. So you talk about total offense, he can do it a couple of different ways. On the carry that time was Henry Duda. Duda's second leading ground carrier. over 1,000 yards. So 2 1,000-yard rushers in this York lineup. Massel will fire. Low shot. It is complete in bounds. He completes it to Jack Birnbaum.
That was a rocket that he threw in there. Nice job there by Bruno Massel. You see their head coach there, Don Gelsomino.
Gelsomino, the defensive coordinator, he admits he talks to the defense during moments like this, but if he hears something going on or somebody tells him something, he quickly spins around and manages the ball game from that angle. Very confident in his fellow defensive assistants to take care of any business. Massel will look to get to the outside, looking to squirt through. Can't quite get there, but he'll get across the 35-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down. Boy, anytime you get Bruno Massel in any type of open space, he's a danger to go all the way. 3-time state qualifier, and that's in multiple events. Runs a 4.4340, part of the 4x100 state finalist relay team. How about Massel? The first 3 playoff games, he rushed for over 170 yards and scored 11 total touchdowns in those 3 games. This time he will give it off. Tommy Ghislandi, number 18. Will wrap him up. And there's Bo Deschro. How about that record for Deschro? Perfect record last year in his first season as the head coach, taking over from John Holisek. So he's had a couple of early losses this year for Loyola. He's had a number of sons come through this program. Longtime assistant at Loyola Academy.
You mentioned their former coach, John Holisek, back on staff now. Deschro kept asking him. He finally said yes this year. He's back on staff, helping coach linebackers.
Massel squirts through, nearly breaks it. He gets out to the 48-yard line. That should be enough for a first down. Quick acceleration from the 5'11 senior.
And you can see Massel, he's going to run inside, he's going to run outside. Does a good job of following a couple of blocks on that counter play. York not as big up front as Loyola, but man, they can get after it. I watched a couple of their games in the playoffs, and they do a really nice job of moving the line of scrimmage, and Massel and Connors in the backfield do an outstanding job of finding the holes when they're there.
Connors will get it. Tries to pick his hole and is able to cross midfield.
I mean, that's a 4 or 5 yard gain there, but what that shows is how patient he can be behind that big offensive line. Really nice job. A couple of them slow to get up front, but if they can continue to get 4 or 5 a carry and they can control the clock like we talked about and keep Loyola's offense on the sideline, York is going to have a chance to pull this one out in the end.
Coming up on 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. York scored on his first possession on the long run by Connors. Massel will keep it. Massel to the 40-yard line, to the near sideline, shoved out of bounds. Charlie Daly knocks Bruno Massel out of bounds, but not before he gets all the way down to the 28-yard line for a 21-yard pickup.
I mean, when you see Bruno Massel, he's 5'11", 190 pounds. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that's going to make guys miss or is going to have guys bounce off of him, but that's exactly what happens there. As you see, Loyola had a man right there for a 2-yard loss, and they just can't bring Massel down. He's quick, he's got good lateral movement, and when he needs to, he can push defenders off of him. That's why he's had such a tremendous season leading this York offense.
First 9 minutes of the game, York has rushed for 127 yards. And now 128 after a short pickup by Massel. Massel will get his share of carries tonight.
And you see him come off the turf a little slowly there. That's not what you want to see if you're a York fan. Maybe just taking his time a little bit, but you're right. He's going to get his fair share of carries. He's already got 5 carries so far.
Jack Birnbaum along with Fenton Helm will split to the left side. Connors in the backfield, just off the right hip of Massel. Connors will get it. And a flag goes down as Connors fights forward to the 25-yard line. And a second penalty flag comes flying in.
Gavin King with the tackle. 2 penalty flags on the play.
And that's Connors, who's limping off to the sideline. He's going to go to the training table and get looked at. Not sure what it is, ankle, foot, but he's hobbling right now.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. We have illegal formation, 5 men in the backfield on York. After the play's over with, we have a dead ball, personal foul on 17. Both penalties will be enforced. We'll replay the down. It'll be second down.
That is a 20-yard difference. And we'll walk it all the way back. And there is 34, Jimmy Connors. Now, that would be a loss in more ways than one. Connors, of course, great running back, but also outstanding defensive player for this Dukes team.
Yeah, it was his ankle that he's getting checked out. Looks like they might try and tape it up and see if he can't get back out there. But right now, York's got bigger problems on their hands as they are second and way behind the chains here. I'm going to say, what, is it second and have they updated the board yet? No, second and
they're still
29.
Second down and 29. Not a position that York wants to be in, and now a delay of game penalty. How about that? Now 25 yards from that very last play. So 5 yards, 15 yards, and another 5-yard penalty, and we're on the other side of the 50-yard line right now.
Well, if you're York, there's no play that's going to get you from second and 35 to first down. So you got to try and take this thing in chunks. Looks like Loyola is going to take a timeout. They want to talk about it. But if you are York, you got to try and get 10 to 15 back right now if you can. And then if I'm York, this is probably 4-down territory already. Not because of the time left in the game, but just because you're looking at a 50-some yard field goal if you get back to the original line of scrimmage. So if I'm York, I'm thinking, hey, 4 downs here. I got 3 to try and get myself all the way back and get the first down here.
Let's go back to the semifinal game for York. Playing Naperville Central, leading 20-13 with 10 seconds left. 4th down and a yard. Bruno Massel hightails it back 43 yards. He's going to take the safety here, but watch what he does when he gets in the end zone. Still trying to wind that clock down, and it goes to 0 right there, and York heads to the state championship ball game for the first time. So that definitely hurts Bruno Massel's rushing yardage. 43 yards and a safety in one of the most unusual ways you will see a state playoff game end.
That's just good coaching there. That's something that teams practice. Good teams practice on a weekly basis. They do those things. They know to use the clock to their advantage. And I think Massel would take another 43-yard loss if it meant he gets a state title tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try and dial that up again if they're in the same situation.
He needs to get 34 yards to the south, and he'll make that first completion back into Loyola territory. And there's the distance that you were asking for, Simon Kodowski, on that reception.
That's all you needed. That's all you needed right there. You needed a 12 to 14-yard gain. Yeah, it's still 3rd and 18, but it's way more manageable, right? And again, you're trying to think, if you get another 8 to 10 here, you're probably in 4-down territory. I know that that's probably what the coaches are thinking on the sideline. So what can you do to dial up something similar to that? Connor's still on the sideline, so is the ball going to stay in Massel's hand on a run, or are you going to try and find one of these one-on-one matchups on the outside that you like?
Henry Duda in the backfield, 1,000-yard rusher. Let's see how Massel plays this one. He'll keep it. Massel grabbed and wrapped up. I believe that was Gislandi again.
They've tried to leave Gislandi unblocked a couple of different times with a few different concepts. One inside run like that, that's kind of a sweep option look where you can run underneath the unblocked defender, or you've got that spy look or that sweep look that I talked about where you run outside of that unblocked defender. And really, you're going to have a lot more success if you're going to go Gislandi's way, if you're going to try and run around him as opposed to running right at him. He's going to Army for a reason. And if I was York, I'd stay away from his side of the football as much as I can.
So here's your 4-down territory as you called a couple of plays ago. Mass stands, launches it deep. Battle for the ball. Did he get it in bounds? He did not. Fenton Helm, what a great effort. Or was that intercepted?
No, they're going to say that it's the incomplete pass out of bounds.
All right.
But since it was 4th down, it's going to be Loyola ball. So better that it wasn't intercepted if you're Loyola. But man, that one looked really close. We're going to get a play. We're going to get a look at it up here in the booth. Oh man, it might have been the right call. Half of that foot may have been on the white. The other half may have landed in the green. Too close to call from up here. But the official was right on it, so you have to believe that he had the right call on the field. What a turn of events that would have been had York come down with that football inside the 5. Instead, Loyola takes over possession.
Those 25 yards and penalty really hurt the Dukes, but their defense comes up strong. Only a 1-yard gain for Loyola Academy, and that closes out the first quarter of our 8A championship ball game. Touchdown apiece, a 74-yard run from Jimmy Connors, and then the touchdown pass from Fitzgerald to Carlson. We're tied at 7 after 1.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Entertaining first quarter here at Hancock Stadium. One of the big plays, nearly a huge play, was a pass down to Fenton Helm. Now, talk about an official being right on the money. Yep, there's Helm's foot out of bounds. Great catch, great call.
Yeah, it's a game of inches. If he comes down with that ball in bounds, York's inside the 5-yard line with a chance to punch it in and take the lead. Instead, the ball goes over to Loyola, and they're already on the opposite side of the 50-yard line here as we take a look at Connors back in the football game. You see that ankle fully taped up now. He came off limping. You can see him still favoring that ankle as he walks onto the field on defense, but he came off the field on offense. They took a look at the ankle. Looks like he's going to be okay and get back out there, but that's a crucial injury for York early in this ball game.
Well, Jimmy Connors goes into every game knowing he's going to get about 100 plays as he goes both ways. You don't see that too often in 8A football. Fitzgerald has time. He's going to go deep and a little bit too long, a little off the mark for Owen Joyce. Drew Richardson, number 21, on the coverage for the Dukes.
Yeah, really good coverage there by Loyola. They took a tight end out of the backfield and the 2 wide receivers and ran them all on vertical routes down the field to try and space out that York defense. And they did a nice job running with all 3 of them, step for step. And Fitzgerald's ball just too far out of the reach. Brings up a big 3rd down already in this game.
Fitzgerald's first incompletion of this game comes on the first play of the second quarter. He'll throw again. This floats out a little bit too high once again for Joyce. And once again, Richardson right there. York defense be underrated a little bit this year, only giving up 16 points per game. They had a tough little stretch. They were beaten by Downers Grove North in the 6th week of the season, 35-14. After defeating Glenbard West, fell to Lions, the eventual conference champion, 24-7. And Downers Grove North game was, you know, you hate to use the expression a wake-up call, but it really humbled York. And obviously they get past the semifinals and here into the championship game, tied at 7 with your defending state champs.
Yeah, they got a ton of belief, this team does, and the way this first quarter has gone, I mean, they're right in this football game exactly where they want to be. They've got a lot of momentum. They brought a really great crowd. They're feeding off that energy, and their offense is playing well so far.
Loyola Academy looking to join Nazareth Academy of Mount Carmel, winning 3 state championships here. The first 2 in this little run. This was in 2022 against Lincoln Way East. And that was played at University of Illinois. And the Ramblers come out victors, 13-3 over Lincoln Way East. And then a repeat performance. Same 2 teams, same result. That one, a victory for Loyola as Massell will get out to the 29-yard line. In fact, that rivalry, how about that rivalry with Lincoln Way East? That's who they beat. Loyola beat in the semifinals. Loyola winning the last 2 years in the title game. They've eliminated Lincoln Way East for 4 straight years. In fact, the last 5 meetings, they have met each other 5 of the last 6 playoffs. Jimmy Connors back in on the offensive side of the ball. You didn't think keep him out for long, did you? He will get it, tries to pick his way through. Not too much room there.
Yeah, I'm interested to see him get up off this pile, and he's not. He's not getting up at all.
That is a worse sign than we saw moments ago for York fans.
Yeah, as soon as he took that ball, I was wondering, you always want to see how does a guy get up off the ground when he's had an injury, and to not see him come up at all, not a good sign. You just feel for the kid, man. He's trying to gut it out. He's trying to do everything he can in the state title game for his teammates. And I just don't know how much more he's got left in the tank.
And you see his teammates there just kind of moving around. Some of them for that shot were just taking glances over their shoulder to see whether Connors was on his feet. Now Don Gelsomino, the head coach right there, talking to Connors. Gelsomino calls him a throwback player. Leads by example. And how about Jimmy Connors? A 5.0 GPA, a 35 ACT. And then Gelsomino laughs. He said, you know, if he'd have gone harder, he'd have gotten that 36. But that is not a good sign right there. No weight at all on that right ankle. Oh, and it comes with 10:48 to play in the first half.
Yeah, that's going to be a big loss for York if he can't come back into the football game. I mean, you talk about a kid who's getting everything he can out of the high school experience, right? He plays both ways on the football team, gets a 35 on the ACT, great student athlete in every aspect of the word. And to see him come off the field in the state title game with an injury like that, it's just tough to see. So you hope that maybe he can get back out on the field at some point, but obviously his safety the most important thing right now for York, that head coaching and that coaching staff.
Massel may have to shoulder a little bit more of the load, and he's able to pick his way through. That will be close to a first down. He may have it. You know, you talk about Massel and Connors. Gelsomino singled both of them out as many of the players, a couple of the many players that do every volunteer event. Massel will be a little bit short. Very interesting decision here at the 33-yard line.
I think you got to go for it, but I mean, it looks like on the other side, the side we're looking at, it looks like that ball is at the line to gain, but on this side, the official chains say that he's about 6 or 8 inches short.
And that's how much he needs for the first down.
Well, it's going to be an easier decision now because York just jumped off sides.
I don't think that was the intention. I think it was to go the other way. So the offensive unit leaves.
Head ball, false start, number 17, York. It's a 5-yard penalty and remains 4th down.
Brennan Kennedy will come on to punt. Here's a look at that play.
It was Fenton Helm, and I thought they might actually get away with it because I thought maybe if he just moved out and motioned out a little bit like he was shifting, maybe the official would have let it slide, but he knew he was caught as soon as he flinched, and that makes it an easy decision for Coach Gelsomino.
Kennedy picks up that low snap, and this one pretty much goes straight up in the air. It's a knuckleball. Almost hits a Loyola player, and maybe it did. I think the Ramblers are on top of it. That ball just knuckled in the air, floated, but it'll be good position for the Ramblers.
It looks like that could have maybe touched 2 different Loyola Ramblers. Not sure if it did touch the first one, but then in Loyola's haste to try and get on top of the ball, it looks like another one grazes it. I can't tell if anybody touches it there, but it's certainly the second time that ball is live. It was Donovan Robinson who came up and tried to fall on that football, and at that point he muffs it, and it's definitely a live ball. So Loyola fortunate to get out of there with possession, and they've got it on the York side of the 50-yard line.
Mickey Maher was the one that fell on the ball. And the offensive unit comes on. Joey Herbert, the center, leading the way.
I'm just waiting for Brandon Loftus to make a big play for this Loyola team. He's been open a couple times. Let's see if Fitzgerald can find him.
Loftus, 6'7" tight end. Deep down the left side. Coverage. But completion. Gavin Vredenberg stayed right with it. What great concentration to see it in his hands. All the way down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah,
36 yards.
What a catch by Brandenburg, and what an even better throw by Fitzgerald to place that ball where only his wide receiver can get to it. I mean, this ball is a mile in the air, and it falls perfectly into the hands of Brandenburg, the senior wide receiver. Really nice job there by both seniors on that connection to get Loyola into the red zone.
McPherson gets it around the left side, plants his foot, cuts up inside. He's going to go in. 12-yard touchdown run for Drew McPherson, and Loyola goes back on top.
It's a great run by McPherson. It's an even better block out there by Conlon Kane. It looks like out there, was that him or no? Was that Brandenburg who just caught the big play to get him down there? I think it might have been Gavin Brandenburg with an outstanding block. A couple of big tight ends out there as well that we already talked about. Chase Williamson blocking on the edge for Loyola. And when McPherson turns the corner, he's as good as any back in the entire state.
Zeman, the high and accurate extra point, and Loyola scoring the last 2 touchdowns in this game. Takes a 14-7 lead. 2-play drive. Here's the final 12 yards from McPherson.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash, our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual. We're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Back at Hancock Stadium, it's been a busy day here the last 2 days. Today we started with 5A football, every game a championship ball game. Here in the IHSA State Finals, 50th anniversary of those finals. This is how it looked. Nazareth Academy holds on literally in the final 10 seconds, denying a 2-point conversion attempt from Joliet Catholic for a 29-27 win. Third straight title for the Roadrunners. And East St. Louis, tight ball game, broke away for that 20-point win over Geneva. Geneva making its first appearance in the state title ball game. Mount Carmel and Batavia was a shootout in the first half, and then Mount Carmel pulls away in the second half, sticks 55 on the board. See the Loyola score. Ramblers just taking that 7-point lead. Kick deep and into the end zone. And, you know, we look back at the events leading up to that touchdown by Loyola. It was an injury to Jimmy Connors that really started a downward spiral for York.
Yeah, it started on second down when Connors, who had gotten his right ankle injured earlier in the game, took the handoff from Massel and just wouldn't get up off the turf. You kind of felt the sideline deflate a little bit at that moment, and then York gets stopped short on third down. They get the penalty on fourth, and then after a bad punt, 2 plays later, Loyola's in the end zone, and they've got all the momentum. Let's see if York can swing some of that back in their direction now.
Massel on a little delay. He's able to get through. Bruno Massel, he's got wheels. Massel to the 45, stays on his feet. He's at the 30. Far sideline, and that is it. Oh, my goodness, what a run from Bruno Massel.
Well, is there a better way to get a jolt of life into your sideline than a kid like that who can run a 4.4 and has some electricity to him? Look at Massel. Shedding tacklers left and right, staying on his feet. I mean, what a job by the senior quarterback.
56 yards on that run to the 24-yard line of Loyola Academy.
You mentioned it, Dave, earlier when Connors went down. Massel was going to have to shoulder a lot of the load, and he does just that on the very first carry of this drive.
Able to give it to Duda. Almost ran out of an ankle tackle.
Duda's going to play a huge role in the rest of this game, though, because he's a 1,000-yard rusher as well. So they got to start to get him going. Okay, he's a little bit of a different back than Connors. But if they can get Duda going in this game, I mean, watch out, because York has some firepower on the offensive side. When they can find the right hole, these guys can get up and go, and there's very few people in the state who can catch them.
Massel to keep to the outside. Waits on a block, gets it, drives forward. Not just speed, but strength for Bruno Massel.
So they're just running quarterback counter with Bruno Massel. It's their favorite run play in their offense. Now, Loyola's doing a really nice job. That play side defensive end is closing. You see there, both of those guys close, and that pulling guard and that pulling tight end, they have to log. That's called logging those blocks, which means that Massel has to bounce the ball to the outside. Now, the problem is York's wide receivers are doing a really good job of blocking downfield. And so Massel's able to get some really big runs.
Duda driven down in the backfield. Loyola coming hard, penetration. Eddie Kurtzwell Make that Nick Richter on the stop. And a loss of about 3. Second down and 12. Massel to throw. Quick pass. Completion inside the 5-yard line. He found Fenton Helm. Make that the tight end, Hunter Stepanek.
Yeah, it was the tight end from that slot position. Looked like a little bit of a run-pass option maybe for Massel. And he does a really nice job to go up and get that football. Gelsomino wants to talk about this. Looks like maybe the wrong call came in from the sideline. He called that right away. Before he even saw how Loyola was lined up, he called that right away. I don't think he liked the play that they called coming out of that timeout.
We'll take a quick break. We've come back. 6:06 to play in the first half. 3rd and 1 for the Dukes.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on, so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
York trailing 14-7, a ball at the 4-yard line, 3rd down and 1. Doesn't get much bigger than this, Chris Hyland.
I mean, it's just a question of which way they're going to run Bruno Massel. I mean, right? I mean, I'm not sure you put the ball in anybody else's hands other than your star quarterback. You just got to find the right concept that you like the most against this Loyola front. They've had some success when they have left the DN unblocked. Let's see if they go with something similar here.
Need to get to the 3-yard line.
I would not run Gishlandy's way if I were them.
Massel will run straight up. He puts his head down, spins those wheels, and he is in. 4-yard touchdown run for Bruno Massel. And York immediately answers.
Bruno Massel, the 5'11", 190-pound quarterback, just took it right to the defense of Loyola Academy. I mean, watch this. Bam, right there in the hole. Holy cow.
He put Henry Newton back on his heels.
I mean, that's the way that you lower the boom at 5'10", 190 pounds. York came to play. They were not going to go away quietly. They've got a lot of history with this Loyola team, and they want the Ramblers bad. They're giving them everything they've got tonight. What a way to close out an incredible weekend of football here in Illinois.
Nicole Sedevy is down on the sidelines for. She has an update on Jimmy Connors. Nicole.
Yeah, Connors appears to be struggling with a right foot injury. He was wincing in pain, squeezing his fist when the trainers were putting pressure on it. They removed his tape, his cleat, his sock to check it out. They ended up wrapping it up again with some pre-wrap under his sock. He's been up and down off the bench, testing the pressure on it. Right now, they have some ice on it. His coach came over to check in on him, asked him how he felt. Connors replied, "It hurts." Coach said, "You tell me whether you want to go back into this game." The training staff was unclear if he'll return to this game.
All right, great reporting, Nicole. And there is a gamer right there. So if he is unsure right now or that much pain, that's not a good sign. And obviously, offensively here for York, the Dukes were able to overcome his absence. The question now is defensively. how do they make that adjustment?
Well, that's a big question. I wonder if Loyola will go after his replacement early, but regardless of whether we see Connors in this game again or not, he left his mark immediately. Don't forget, it was his 74-yard touchdown run that led off the scoring for York and gave him that 7-0 lead. So whether we see him again or not, he has certainly left his mark on this game already for York.
That last touchdown drive by York, 6 plays, 80 yards. Key play was Bruno Massel's 56-yard run. That drive took 2 minutes and 39 seconds. York now with 242 yards of offense. Massel accounting for 158 of those yards. York scoring first this game. The next 2 touchdowns came from Loyola Academy. And then the Dukes put another one on the board. Fitzgerald pumps, throws deep, a little too long. Double coverage on the far side. They were looking for Gavin Bradenberg.
York, I don't think, is going to let Bradenberg beat them again. That was double coverage that time. He was the only wide receiver to the top of your screen, and so they knew he was headed that way. On the double move, they did a nice job to put 2 defenders over the top of him and make sure that Fitzgerald couldn't find his favorite target.
Number 25, Eddie Sika, one of the players on coverage that time. It's 2nd down and 10. We passed the midway point of the second quarter. Give to McPherson. Here he comes. There's some room if he can get a block. And he'll be gang tackled down, but not before he fights and gets to the 45-yard line. 18-yard run for Drew McPherson and a first down for the Ramblers.
I mean, that gain is all on McPherson. That run is designed to go to the left. It's just a counter play. They're going to lead with a guard and with Loftus out of the backfield. And when he sees that there's no hole there, look at him change direction. Look at the jump cut right here. Nice job by McPherson to change direction, get downhill, and get the first down.
Time for Fitzgerald. Now he sees an opening. He's able to fight and bang and physical his way up into York territory. That was a hard-earned 8 yards.
Yeah, it was the first time that York's gotten a little bit of pressure on him and made him move off of his spot. Now, he had a hamstring injury earlier in the year, so it's been hit or miss on whether or not he's been able to make those plays with his legs throughout this playoffs, but you can see Fitzgerald there looks to be fully healthy, and Coach Deschereaux pointed that out earlier in the week when we talked to him that, yeah, he feels like finally his senior quarterback is at full strength.
Set his team up for a 2nd down and short. Straight run from Fitzgerald. And he will have the first down. One thing that Ryan Fitzgerald understood after that hamstring injury, he understood that he just could not rush himself back. And obviously that's a very difficult thing to do, but he started running a little bit in week 8 against Mount Carmel. That was a big win for Loyola Academy over the now 3-time 7A state champions. Here comes McPherson again. The race to the edge. McPherson will get to the 20-yard line. McPherson headed to Iowa, recruited to play safety.
That left side of the York defense is where Connors usually is, and I believe it's 53 Thomas Hostler, the sophomore, who has come in to replace him. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Loyola continues to run in that direction and try and see if they can't find a weak spot in that York defense now that their leader, senior linebacker, is on the sideline.
McPherson, 82 yards and 9 carries. He will get it again. So his average is going to drop a little below the 9 yards per carry there as he has a short pickup of about 4. Clock heading to 3:30. Fitzgerald gets that play call from the sideline as 3 players in fluorescent vests signaling it in. 5 of the 6 plays on this drive have been runs. Williamson motion. Out of the backfield, McPherson gets the catch. Gets a big block downfield. McPherson to the 5. Did he get in? Knocked the pylon over. That's a touchdown. Drew McPherson, a 16-yard touchdown run in Loyola. Retakes the lead. Second touchdown of the night for McPherson.
So the Ramblers had Loftus in the game in the backfield, and their other big tight end, Chase Williamson, is out, split out, and when he motions in like that, that's a tell or a tendency from Loyola that they're going to do one of 2 things. They're either going to run that screen play, that swing pass to McPherson, or they are going to hand the ball to him on a sweep. You saw that little short motion. That's so that Williamson can crack the linebacker and they can try and get outside. That's exactly what they do on the screen play, and it's pay dirt for Loyola.
3 touchdowns for the Ramblers, 2 in this quarter, 3 extra points, 21-14 with just under 3 minutes to play. Drew McPherson, his second touchdown of the night, and here it is.
Yeah, you're going to see those big wide receivers and tight ends out there blocking for him. A really nice job blocking downfield by Will Carlson. And he kicks the pylon over for 6. Nice job by Loyola to respond after a big drive from York tied the ball game.
Second touchdown pass for Fitzgerald as Loyola capitalizes in the red zone. They are perfect in 3 attempts once they get inside the 20. We had a 7A ball game that Batavia and Mount Carmel, very similar type of score at about this stage of the game. Actually, I should say maybe 2:58 left in the first quarter of that ball game. But each team is answering the other's touchdown. York scoring first this game. Loyola tied it. We are 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. And we've alternated touchdowns since then. Zeman has put 2 in the end zone. This one will come up just a little bit short of the end zone. And York will start a little bit short of the 20-yard line. Drew McPherson headed to Iowa. He'll join his good buddy Ryan Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, a preferred walk-on. Drew McPherson, his commitment to the Hawkeyes. There you go, the 2 good buddies right there, University of Iowa. Their team has a 21-14 lead. Massell, no hole there that time.
Curious to see what defensive changes and adjustments Loyola has made here, because now you know this is not good either if Massell's going to be slow to get up off the turf. But what adjustments has Loyola made, because now you can key on Massell a little bit more with Connors out of the game. I mean, he's the only one that's really hurt them so far. He's got 127 on the ground and 32 through the air. He's their entire offense pretty much so far. Let's see what Loyola does to bottle him up.
He's able to squeeze through. Picks up 5, maybe 6 yards. First appearance ever in a state championship ball game for York. This is a team that missed the playoffs from 2012 to 2020. And yet the seniors came into York after that playoff absence of 10 years. They've been to the semis 3 straight years, and now to the state championship ball game. 3rd down and 4 for the Dukes. Massell under pressure is able to get rid of it. The pass is complete out to the 38-yard line. Simon Kodowski, second catch of the night, moves the chains with 91 seconds to play in the first half.
That's a really good job by Kodowski. And now York can go up tempo a little bit with 2 timeouts and still a minute or so to go in this first half.
And that pass is incomplete. Bruno Massel, you talk about development in a quarterback. Of course, he had to sit behind some outstanding quarterbacks, and he has learned now that he'll go through his reads, and if it's not there, he'll take off. Well, his read was a good one there. The pass just a little bit low. Don Gelsomino, the head coach for York, says, I'm a defensive guy, but he is right out there on the sidelines here on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, these are those critical situations as a head coach that you got to be aware of. Clock management, very important. As man, they're lucky that that ball doesn't get picked off and go the other way. But 3rd down now, you got to be a little bit careful about the play call here. You need a high percentage completion if you're York on 3rd and 10. Doesn't have to even be all the way to the sticks, but what you need here is you need something inbounds completed, or you need to run the football, so at least if you don't get the first down, maybe Loyola has to burn a timeout, because then you got to worry about the Ramblers scoring one more time before halftime.
To the sideline, another dangerous pass. Reaching for the first down. I don't think they're going to give him the first down. That was Fenton Helm. Maybe 2 yards short of the first down. He knew where the sticks were. He was right there in front of them.
And now Fenton Helm is going to the sideline injured. But this is a really good play here. Good throw, good catch, great effort by Helm to try and get all the way there.
And he immediately said, get somebody in for me.
And no complaint from Coach Gelsomino on that call, so it looks like that was the right one on the sideline there. He's going to take a timeout. He wants to talk about this before 4th down.
So York will take the timeout while they're in punt formation. Nobody was deep for Loyola on this punt, so I don't know that they bought the whole idea that it was going to be a kick. We've seen some outstanding quarterbacks here in our 7A and 8A games. It was Jack Elliott in 7A. Here's Bruno Massel for York tonight.
I mean, this play really gave York some life, because they were down 14-7 and they had just lost Connors. But man, those 2 runs by Massel on the same drive, you can see that even might be where he was coming up a little bit slow on that play, where he was so physical. He rocked one of the Loyola defenders and carried him 2 yards into the end zone. But as you could see there, as he walked to the sideline, maybe he was walking a little gingerly at that point. So who knows? I mean, York is giving Loyola everything that they can handle so far tonight. But this Loyola team, they're just big, they're physical, they're going to try and pound you. Coach Gelsomino knew that it was going to take their best effort to come away with the win, but you got to give York a lot of credit so far in this first half. They're giving Loyola everything they got.
Gelsomino, the defensive coordinator of the last 4 years at York. Nobody back for Loyola. They will punt it away. Brennan Kennedy will get it to the 22-yard line with 57 seconds, make it 56 seconds to play in the half after a 36-yard punt.
So if you're Loyola, what do you do here? If I'm the coach, if I'm Coach Deschereaux, I mean, I try and push the ball down the field. I maybe give the ball to McPherson once, see if he can break a big run, and then maybe determine what my next play call is based on that first play. But Loyola has shown that they have big play potential. It's actually from this exact same formation that we saw that very long pass to Brandenburg earlier in the half. Let's see if they go their direction again.
Looking more over the middle instead. To the left side, to the sidelines. Brandenburg is there, out of bounds. That will stop the clock with 51 seconds left. Loyola still with 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, I think that's their favorite formation. When they can get Gavin Brandenburg and Loftus on the same side split out, it puts the defense in such conflict because Loftus is such a big target on the inside. And Brandenburg, he can run the entire route tree from the outside. He can run the slant, run the fade. You saw there, that was the deep out. He does a really nice job in his breaks. So those two create a mismatch nightmare for defenses. And they're at the top of the screen here again.
Fitzgerald still behind the line. Now he'll keep it. He'll be dropped.
Loyola's going to take a timeout. As you see here, Fitzgerald's trying to coach up. He's trying to coach up Will Carlson, the senior, telling him, hey, that's a scramble drill. When I break the pocket, you can't come towards me. You got to break your route off, and you got to go the other direction towards the end zone there. So nice job by the senior trying to tell his wide receiver what he needs in that situation. Coach Deschereaux calls a timeout. They're definitely still trying to get another score on the board. York's going to get the ball to start the second half. So if Loyola can get this thing to 2 scores before halftime, that'd be huge.
Well, if you draw up a game plan where you would like to have a balanced offense, Loyola has met that. 102 yards rushing, 102 yards passing. We've had 470 yards total offense in this first half to go along with 35 points. Coming up at halftime, after we hear from the coach who is leading at the half, we'll go back to our studios. Marshall Harris, Edgy Tim O'Halloran, and Kenny McReynolds to break down this first half. It's been a very entertaining first half. We'll get stats, highlights, and a little bit extra from those folks. And now the defensive unit for York urging on their crowd by far the biggest student section we have seen here this weekend, braving temperatures in the low 20s.
Yeah, I'm waiting 2 extra hours for this game to start. Nobody left for York. They were here ready to rock and roll. They've been loud so far. Let's see if York can come up with a big stop before halftime.
Fitzgerald out of the pocket. On the run. Great coverage downfield. Knocking the ball away for York was Riggins Cole, number 19.
Yeah, that's a really good job by Cole. I noticed that York had gone to their nickel package. They had put an extra corner or safety in the ball game, and that's a nice job there by Cole to break that ball up, going for Loftus.
It's now 3rd down and 9. Loyola 0 for 2 in 3rd downs in this first half.
Same York defense. They're going to try and bring pressure with just 3.
And they get the ball quickly to the outside. McPherson, he's dangerous in open space. Let's see where they say he ran out of bounds.
I think he's going to get just enough for the first down. That's what makes an offense so hard to defend. When you have got a tailback that can come out of the backfield, and you can see there it's just an option route for Fitzgerald. He's looking downfield. He's trying to see if those linebackers will drop into coverage or if they'll take McPherson out of the backfield. When they drop and they don't take McPherson, it's an easy kick out to his star tailback.
Up a little high there on the sidelines, working to get those sidelines, and it's Radenberg that takes hit and is driven out of bounds by Eddie Sika. Down to 22 seconds and a timeout remaining. What a crucial final 22 seconds this is.
This play's taking a little longer to come in off the sideline. They still got 10 seconds before the play clock expires. They do have 1 timeout in their pocket. Let's see if Coach Deschereaux is going to need to use it.
Fitzgerald has to pull it down. Well, he'll just float it out of bounds. Clock stops with 16 seconds left.
He was looking to his 3 receiver side, but it was really, really good coverage by York. It was the same concept that Loyola scored the very first touchdown on. A hitch by the outside receiver and a flag or corner route by that inside guy. And he did have a man open, but it was a little bit of pressure that caused him to get out of the pocket there. And that's why he had to end up throwing the ball away.
New York fans making noise again, urging their defense on here on 3rd and 10.
McPherson split out in the formation. They're going to bring Luke Foster, the other senior running back, into the game now.
Fitzgerald gets to Carlson. He's wrapped up immediately. And Loyola trying to get to the line quickly. They had a timeout remaining, and they will not use it. That's how our first half will come to an end. Loyola Academy looking for its 6th state championship, leading 21-14 here at the end of the first half. Some of the stories of the game, you've got Drew McPherson, you have Ryan Fitzgerald, Bruno Masso, and then maybe the biggest story, at least that could have the biggest impact, Jimmy Connors out with an injury for York, the outstanding two-way player for the Dukes.
Yeah, after a 74-yard touchdown run to start the scoring for York, what an outstanding job by York to stay in this football game and to answer after Loyola had 2 scores to go up 14-7. I mean, this has been a tremendous 8A football game going back and forth. And give York a lot of credit on that very last defensive stand. Loyola was trying to score to get this to a 14-point lead before halftime because they know York's going to get the ball to start the second half. But, man, the Dukes have done an outstanding job on defense and offense here as well.
Bo Destro standing by with Nicole Sedevy.
Thanks, guys. Coach, Drew McPherson has 2 touchdowns for you out of the 21 points that you put up. He's approaching 100 yards on the ground. What did you think of his play through the first half?
You know, Drew's a gamer. He's doing what he's been doing all year for us, making plays.
And Bruno Mazzle and the York team gets the ball to start the second half. He's been good on the ground. He has 132 yards rushing. He also has a touchdown. What's the key to stopping him?
Well, you know, he's been phenomenal all year. We knew he was going to be a challenge coming into this game to stop him. We just had to make some adjustments, and we got to tackle better. So it's pretty simple.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
All right, over to the boys in the Chicago studio.
All right, thanks so much, Nicole. It is a 21-14 halftime lead. Loyola in control, but York doesn't get the ball to start the second half. A great, entertaining, and a close first half from these two teams today.
Yeah, I still think the flow of the game is for Loyola because you know that York likes to speed it up, especially because Massel is a track star as well as a quarterback. So I still think this is the type of game that Loyola wants, but you have to remember McPherson looks great, 2 touchdowns, 86 yards.
You know, and again, for York, you lose a kid like Jimmy Connors, you're not losing 1 starter, you're losing 2 starters and 1 young man. Impact player on both sides of the ball. That being said, Kenny, I kind of agree with you. You get the feeling that York is hanging in and hanging in and hanging in, but boy, you just want to see them get some kind of momentum to start the second half.
Yeah, and Fitzgerald, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they're attacking the sub that came in for Connor. So look for them to continue to attack that sub.
All right, it'll be interesting to see just what kind of adjustments are made on both sides. As again, this is a touchdown game to have, very different from some of the games that we've seen all weekend long. But hey, what do? We try to be like Vanessa Williams. We try to save the best for last. Coming up on halftime, we will show you the highlights from this one. Plus, we will take a look at the stats, a closer look. It is the 8A title game right now. Loyola at the break. They're up 21-14 on York.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Epic Black Friday deals at Menards are back. Pick up this 12-volt cordless drill kit for only $9.99. Get a dual-head LED work light with tripod for just $14.99. Secure big savings on a 4-pack ratchet strap set, now just $4.97. Or snag these giant 54-inch snow tubes for only $9.99 each. Hurry in for best selection. Don't miss out. These deals won't last long.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of salutes. Capture this moment and go forward together.
IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
Halftime here on the IHSA television network alongside Kenny McReynolds, Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris. It's a 21-14 Loyola lead over York in the AA state title game. Let's show you how we got to this point. Great game so far. Early first quarter, York, after getting a punt, it's Jimmy Connors setting the tone 74 yards to the house.
Yeah, once he got around the corner, nobody's in the screen. Look, nobody in the picture. Great blocking by the Dukes.
Looks like he's out for the game, though. Big loss at linebacker and running back. Meanwhile, 7-0 until Ryan Fitzgerald finds Will Carlson to even things up.
Again, you mix things up, run and pass. Really nice pass to get things going for Loyola.
And then more from Ryan Fitzgerald, this time dumping it off to Drew McPherson. He's been a man.
Yeah, McPherson's been a man. 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. Just a nice, simple swing pass out to him. But he's so big, so strong, so fast. He's hard to bring down.
Sure, he's a linebacker in college. Just saying. Just asking.
Yeah. Well, he can do both.
Looks pretty good.
Looks like he signed up to play safety at Iowa, so we'll see how that works out for McPherson. Meanwhile, we have a serious game on our hands here, something we haven't said necessarily every time that we've come back from Hancock Stadium. But in this one, what do you like about Loyola? Remember, they're just a half away from going three-peat and following the steps of 2 other teams who have already done that today.
Well, I think Loyola's going to have to win this game on the defensive end. I don't think you have to worry too much about scoring. You have to stop Bruno Massel. That's what you have to stop. Loyola for years has been known as linebacker high school because John Holisek, of course, was their former coach. He played in the NFL as a linebacker. He is now back coaching the linebackers at Loyola. So I think their linebackers, their defense is going to have to play a big, big role.
For the Dukes, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. You need to come out and get something done on this first drive. Kenny, how many times have we seen Loyola get the ball early in the second half and put an 8-9-minute drive together? I mean, it's textbook. You got to take that away from Loyola. And we talked about controlling time of possession and pace of play. That's what York has to do right out of the gate.
And the great thing for York is that they get the ball first. That's going to be really crucial. Yep. That's the thing. They deferred, which was very smart on their part.
Do you feel like the York Dukes have a chance here to get something done long-term against this Loyola defense, or are the adjustments going to be difficult in an uphill battle for them?
I think adjustments are going to be very difficult because this defense is so good. But that said, Massel is still an exciting, quick quarterback. And if you give him a little room, he's gone.
Missing Jimmy Connors. That's a big part of that offense that you're not going to have in the second half. Duda, definite quality running back, but a different kind of running back. So we'll see if York can fill that void.
Jimmy Connors didn't have much of a presence in this game, but he did make it felt on that one big play. We'll see who fills the gaps, fills the void for the York Dukes. In the meantime, we'll come back, take a look at some of the statistics from this one. Right now, 21-14 at the half in the 8A title game. Loyola on top.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Ashley, style begins at home. IBEW Local 134, building careers, building the future. Northern Illinois University, where your future is our focus. Visit niu.edu. Chicago Roofing Contractors Association, Chicagoland's best value, best roofs all year long. And Local 17 Heat and Frost Insulators. Energy is your #1 cost.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBEW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBEW Local 134.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
What a day we've had at day 2 of the state championships here in 2024. It started with 5A, the tightest game of the day so far. Nazareth Academy holding on to a 29-27 win over Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, what a game that was. Two great Catholic schools in Chicago. You knew it would be a good one. That was a great one.
When you look at East St. Louis and Geneva, East St. Louis removed 1 year from winning the state title, but right back in the driver's seat this year.
And you look at that lineup and that starting lineup and that bench, they're going to be back for a while. I mean, it is a ton of young talent on the Flyers.
Nazareth Academy not the only team to go three-peat on this day. As we saw Mount Carmel say, what's a 19 seed? Yeah. Doesn't mean much, that number in the front.
Yeah, number 19 doesn't mean a thing when you talk about Mount Carmel. Their 16th state championship, the most in the history of the state of Illinois.
State titles in 4 of the past 5 seasons. We got another three-peat in front of us. Possible, but York trying to play spoiler to that. Meanwhile, you look at the games that we've seen today, it seems like legacy has been the story of the day, the theme of the day, when you look at all 3 winners so far.
Yeah, and a lot of great quarterbacking as well.
Oh, it's been that way all year long. Great quarterbacks all over the state. Tell you what, it's going to be the same way next year, too. Great young quarterbacks coming back in 2025.
All right, so we've seen some good quarterbacks sign off for the final time as an Illinois high school athlete. We'll see what these two teams have to offer as we come back with more on the second half of this game. Getting ready for it, Drew McPherson, will he add to his touchdown total? 1 on the ground and 1 receiving so far today.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of salutes. Capture this moment and go forward together.
We're back with the Menards halftime stats. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. Some improvement needed on the York-Duke side of the score ledger, at least. They're down by 7.
Yeah, but look at the yards rushing, and that's because of Bruno Massel. 216 for York.
Not a lot of teams have put up 216 yards rushing against that team, I tell you what. So that is definitely working. Just got to continue to find a way to get those holes and keep moving the chains.
All right, we'll see if the Dukes can use their first possession out of halftime to tie this thing up. They will not have the services of Jimmy Connors, but hey, he made his impression felt with that 74-yard touchdown run to start things off.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
How can we let people know it's free to hire us and we're easy to work with?
I've got it.
Well, there goes our ad budget.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
Drive into 2025 with confidence in a vehicle designed to turn heads. Premium comfort, bold design, and 2 years of limited maintenance included. Plus, with our industry-leading warranty, you're covered for the road ahead. During Mitsubishi's year-end sales event, drive home a 2024 SUV with 0.99% APR. Visit your local Chicago area Mitsubishi retailers today.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Just moments away from starting the third quarter here in your 8A state championship ball game, and it's a tight one. 21-14, Loyola Academy on top of York. And we appreciate you staying with us here. It's a little bit later than you may have imagined, but you're getting a good one right here. Dave Bernhardt, Chris Highland. And Chris, you know, you take a look at Loyola. We've talked about him in the pregame. We've talked about him during the game. What a factor that Drew McPherson has been in so many different ways.
Well, he really does just about everything for this Loyola Academy offense, right? He can run the ball out of the backfield. He can catch the ball, and he's done a really nice job today getting to the edge of that York defense, showing off his speed, and letting those big tight ends and those big wide receivers block downfield for him. Give this team a lot of credit because they're leaning on their best player, Drew McPherson, to carry them to a state title, and he's done just that in the first half.
So McPherson has done everything he can do. We've talked about Bruno Massel, the quarterback. We've talked about Jimmy Connors and his injury. Let's get some insight from the head coach of York. That's Don Gelsomino. He's standing by with Nicole Sedevy.
Coach, your quarterback, Bruno Mazel, was a stud on the ground to start the first half. 132 yards on the ground, a touchdown. What can you say about his play?
Yeah, he's playing unbelievable. He's playing really tough out there, and, he's fast, so we get him the ball. We're trying to get him in some space, and he's been taking advantage of it.
And I'm sure it hurt that you didn't have Jimmy Connors for a lot of that first half, but Bruno stepped up. You guys get the ball to start the second half. What are you looking for out of your offense?
Hey, we're looking to drive the ball, try to get some points. I mean, we've been down at half, or we've been down in 3 of the 4 playoff games we've had. So we're comfortable being in this situation, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Nicole, as both teams getting ready for the opening kickoff. In that first half, York with 8 first downs. He's going to talk about Bruno Massel. Well, he's responsible for 7 of them, either running or throwing. And Chris, you have an update, if you will, to the condition of Jimmy Connors. Don't think we're going to see the two-way senior coming back.
Yeah, no, I looked for him as we came out of halftime. He's on crutches, no helmet, no cleat on that right foot. So after that big 74-yard touchdown run to open up the scoring, he went down on their next possession offensively. He fought through it. They taped up that ankle and that foot. He tried to fight through it for as long as he can, and on his very next carry, just would not come off the turf. So Connors is going to be on the sideline for the rest of this game. So the question becomes not only offensively, but in particular defensively, how does York replace a guy like that? Not only a physical, but emotional leader on this Dukes team.
We'll start the second half. Zeman, ball high in the air. Still hopping inside the 5-yard line. Helm with it there. He's in trouble. Helm trying to find any type of opening, and it's not going to happen. So Zach Zeman put it high, put it a little bit short. The wind may have taken it just a bit, and now the York Dukes up against it. In the first half, Bruno Massel, 5 of 8 in the air. On the ground, 132 yards and a touchdown.
Now, if I'm York, you got to try and get Duda going as well here on this very first drive, because you can't become too one-dimensional, and they can key on Massel's running game.
Well, there's your call. Duda will get it first. Duda gets it out across the 15. A little bit of breathing room there for Henry Duda. Only 4 carries in the first half. There is the look of Jimmy Connors.
That's what you needed out of Duda if you are York on that very first play. He's a 1,000-yard rusher himself. So York has 3 guys who are pretty close to, if not over, 1,000 yards in their backfield. So you got to get Duda going here to be a good complement to Massel, who's in the backfield by himself here on second down.
Henry Duda, the junior. Massel will keep it, however. Massel wrapped up, and it will be a loss of yardage. Bring up a 3rd down and long.
York's been pretty good on 4th down, 3rd down today. They're 4 of 7 right now. They've been able to keep the ball in Massel's hand on a few of those plays, but on 3rd and 6, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts the ball in the air right now.
He does, gets rid of it in a hurry. And that was nearly intercepted. He did have a receiver a little bit deeper downfield. In fact, he had Helm deep and open. But that was a quick hitter, and it's a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, I wonder if that wasn't a miscommunication between the two. It looks like Massel saw a hole in that zone defense for Loyola and wanted to get the ball out of his hands really quickly. But Helm continued his route, some sort of seam vertical there. Probably a miscommunication that forced the punt.
Donovan Robinson is deep, but he's just near midfield. Return this punt if he gets a chance at it. Off the side of the foot. And Loyola Academy is going to have this ball in York territory for their first possession of this second half. Ryan Fitzgerald, senior quarterback. We mentioned he was injured earlier in the year with a hamstring injury, back full strength. He had himself a solid first half as a leader of this Loyola Academy offense.
Yeah, he's 8 for 14 with 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an unbelievable throw right there to start the scoring for Loyola. Another one that he drops into the bucket to Vandenberg, and then it's the swing pass to McPherson. Does a really nice job of getting the ball into his playmakers' hands. That's what he's been good at his entire career, and he continues to do that tonight for the Ramblers.
That time he got it into McPherson's hands with the handoff. York defense clamps down. Here are those numbers for Ryan Fitzgerald. No gain on first down. From the York 47. Cranks it up. Bradenberg is there. He's grabbed. Enough for a first down as he gets to the 35-yard line.
Bradenberg with another nice catch. That's his 4th on the day. He's going to be over 65 yards receiving. He's also got that huge play that got Loyola into scoring position for their second score of the game. He's been their favorite target so far tonight. They haven't gotten either of the big tight ends really involved. It's been McPherson, Vandenberg, and Fitzgerald who have been doing most of the damage for Loyola.
Straight up the middle of McPherson. He'll bounce it to the outside. McPherson looking to get to the edge. Stays on his feet. Driven down, but that's a hard-earned run. Very deceptive when McPherson gets to the corner.
Yeah, I talked about it in the first half. When he turns the corner, he is really, really talented. And what he's been really good at is that change in direction. He almost runs out of his own shoes there. But that jump cut that he's had, he showed that off in the first half as well. When the hole's not there, he has a really good sense for how to feel the edge of the defense and get around the edge. That time, good enough for a first down.
Loyola 3 of 3 in her previous trips to the red zone. And this will take him maybe just a bit outside of that spot. To carry that time, Luke Foster. So he will give McPherson a little bit of a breather.
And that's really good closing speed there on the edge by York. The outside linebacker comes in to make the play from the backside. Nice job there. As they force Loyola into 2nd and long, they can get into that nickel package again, which it looks like they're going to bring that extra defensive back onto the field is York.
McPherson looking to get a block on the outside. He hits at the 10. He's down inside the 5.
And when you bring in that extra defensive back, that's where you're vulnerable, especially against Loyola. When they stay in 12 personnel, which is 1 back and 2 tight ends, they're going to continue to try and just manhandle you up front. And if you're York and you select the defensive back over the linebacker in that package, well, then you're a little bit softer in the box to be able to stop the run. And that's when McPherson gets to the outside and makes you pay.
14 yards on that carry by McPherson. He's up over 100 yards here tonight. Play clock winding down to 3, to 2, to 1. They get the snap off directly to McPherson. Didn't like the middle. Now it's a race to the corner. Stops, plants, cuts, drives forward to the 1-yard line. So tough when he gets outside.
Man, that play almost didn't happen, Dave. You were mentioning it. The play clock running down almost at double zeros when they get that play off. And that just goes to show what an athlete McPherson is. He's able to make a play out of what looks like nothing. He gets 3 or 4 yards and is able to give them 2nd and goal from the 1. And he's going to stay in that wildcat position.
Ball is at the 1. And there's a jump on the offensive line. This will back it up 5. The call being made by the
False start, number 64 Loyola. The 5-yard penalty.
By the defense for York. You know, there you have McPherson and the Wildcat once again. And that the whole cadence thing, you know, people, you know, have to they get used to Fitzgerald. Of course, McPherson's been there at other times, but not necessarily at the 1-yard line in the state championship ball games. So now the traditional package comes back in for the Ramblers. Yeah, if you're an offensive lineman in that situation, you got all your weight on your hand. You're trying to go forward and get 1 yard, and sometimes you just get a little too antsy. Fitzgerald's back in. He's going to go to the air. He's going to go to the far corner of the end zone. And Vredenberg will pull it in for a score. Another great catch by Gavin Vredenberg. 6-yard touchdown pass from Fitzgerald. That is his third of the night. And it's almost the exact same concept in the exact same corner of the end zone where they scored their first touchdown. Take a look at the way that Fitzgerald fits this ball in, and what a play by Vredenberg to go up and get it at its highest point. The coverage is outstanding by York, and his teammates know that's a Sports Center top 10 kind of play that Vredenberg just made in the corner of the end zone. With the extra point, Loyola has doubled up York. Gavin Vredenberg has been a key factor tonight. Fitzgerald finds him for a 28-14 lead.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBEW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBEW Local 134.
We've seen some great performances on the field this weekend for our 8 games of the state finals in wind chills in single digits, but the greatest performance have been our crew. How about our camera operators on the field, up and down the sidelines in this wicked weather? You can go high as you want. We'll find somebody there. There you go. I don't care how warmly you're dressed, but we certainly appreciate that. All of our camera operators, our engineers, our audio engineers has been absolutely spectacular. And I do have to give a quick shout out to Dina Law. She's the sister of one of our camera operators, Bill Law. Dina, a teacher at York High School, recovering from surgery, unable to get down here tonight. So she's watching us here this evening, and right now she's pulling for a comeback. But Chris, how about the efforts? I don't think people can understand how tough it is, how cold it is, and how these guys can still get the shots and the sounds that we have gotten all weekend.
Yeah, well, if you're watching us, you're sitting at home on your couch. It's 72 degrees, even up here in the booth. We've got it really nice up here, Dave. We can't complain. But the folks who have been giving you these shots of the amazing football that we've had on Friday and Saturday, those are the people that we have to give a shout out to, because you're right. It's not until you spend 8 hours out in that cold that you understand just how bitter it is. Your hands stop working. Your mouth stops working. Your feet are frozen. And those guys and gals have not complained in the least bit and have done a great job of putting on an unbelievable weekend of football here for fans in Illinois.
You know, and you see them, you know, when we can get a little time with them during maybe between games for 10 minutes. Nobody is complaining. Everybody, they just do their job. I can't tell you how impressed I have been with our crew this year. Our producer in Detroit, Joe Nicola, outstanding. The rest of the folks in Las Vegas, all around the country here to bring these games. Massville, 25. Nearly gets through. Those feet are some of the fastest feet you will see.
I talked about it at the end of the first half. but I don't know how many more times they're going to have to peel Massel off the turf himself. I mean, York's going to have a problem here if they continue to run this kid, because, I mean, he is taking an absolute beating, but, man, is he a warrior. He continues to get up after every hit, and he just doesn't complain. He continues to carry the ball and carry the load for this York team. He's going to try and battle them back into this game himself if he can.
Took a hit from Charlie Pryor right there. Here's Henry Duda. He is stood up and driven back by Tommy Ghislandi. Also a shout out to Paul Dubray, our director. And the other part of this, you know, with Paul and all the other crew, the graphics and the audio, is this isn't like you watch a game, it's one game, and a crew does one game. This is 4 games in a day. The games start at 10 o'clock. The day for all of our crew starts well earlier than that, and it will go late tonight to break down everything. So the concentration level is unbelievable. We have to concentrate for 2 games. That's it.
Well, and most of our crew was here setting up on Wednesday.
Yes.
I mean, even before the Thanksgiving holiday, a lot of our crew was here working hard to make sure that they put on the best show that they could for our fans, and, man, they've done a tremendous job.
And that will draw a flag there on the right side of that offensive line.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 87, York. The 5-yard penalty will
We're
remain
talking about Bruno Massel, the quarterback, and how he's taking a beating. How about his dad? He's an announcer for the NHRA, the National Hot Rod Association. So a little bit of announcing in the Massel family. I'm assuming he's going to get a good look at his son here in this championship ball game. First time York has ever been and played for a state football title. Town of Elmhurst came out strong. The student body, really impressive. Massel throws this one up and looking for a flag. Will they get it? Nope, just an incomplete pass. And the York fans, those folks from Elmhurst, not too happy. Quinlan Hughes was the intended receiver. That happened right in front of the York bench.
We're going to take another look at it up here. It certainly looked like they had a hand on the arm. I don't know. It's tough to tell there. It's a bang-bang play. Not sure if it's just incidental contact. He does get a little bit of a shove, but is that after the ball is there? Tough to say. York certainly feels like there was enough contact for a flag.
That was Mac Mendoza on the coverage. This one is high in the air, and it comes down into the hands. Almost a fair catch called by Simon Kodowski. But a long completion puts the ball in Loyola territory.
A miscommunication by Loyola leaves a wide receiver, and they're lucky that that ball was underthrown a little bit by Massel, because Kodowski had nobody within 10 yards of him when that ball gets let go. But it looks like Massel knew that he had to get the ball out of his hands and was even fumbling for the laces on that football. Maybe that's why that thing floated in the air for a little bit, but a nice job by him to come down with that football.
Duda will bounce off one tackler. He stays alive, and he'll take it to the 32-yard line. Henry Duda with positive yardage. And we have an injured player on the field for Loyola Academy. I'll bring the York Dukes to the bench.
Still some life on this York sideline as they have done a good job to sustain this drive, exactly what they needed after Loyola went up 2 scores. But I worry about how many more times they can hand the ball to Massel, or excuse me, how many more times Massel can keep the football. You've seen him now throw it 3 or 4 times on this drive. I think that's because Coach knows that he can't just continue to pound Massel inside against this big Loyola front 7. So you have to be careful about how many more times you can call on one's number. So the more they can get Duda involved in the run game here in the third quarter, the better York will be.
Number 33 walking off under his own power for Loyola, Charlie Pryor. He'll have to sit out this play, the free safety, the senior. Second down and short. Massel's able to run away for some trouble. Over the middle, a little bit behind his receiver, Jack Birnbaum. Charlie Daly was coming hard after Massel.
And he does a nice job to avoid that pressure. But if the quarterback just stops and sets his feet before he throws that football, he can probably throw it right on the numbers of Birnbaum. But instead he tries to throw it on the run, which he didn't necessarily need to do. Maybe he didn't understand that he didn't have pressure from behind there. But if he just sets his feet and takes his time, he can throw a strike and probably convert that ball.
Looking for a couple of yards here. And the decision may have been better to go inside instead. Duda comes outside. Big loss on the play in a crucial situation.
Yeah, I think Duda knows it too. He's got a tight end out blocking for him, but you also have a D tackle that slid off of the block of one of the offensive linemen there. That was Kai Calcutt, who was chasing down Duda. York feels like they got to go for it right now on 4th down. It's 4th and 9. They need a big play.
Came up short on their last 4th down attempt. Massel does not see anything. Now he just chucks it up. The ball floating and nearly gets it to Fenton Helm. Wow. And that sigh that you heard is the Loyola Academy fans when they realize how close that came.
You're not kidding, because this is the kind of play that can turn the momentum of this game on a dime. If Massel converts that, oh my goodness. What could have been for York? Instead, Loyola dodges the bullet, and they've got the 2-score lead with 3:28 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Wrapping up a full weekend of championship football, we're also wrapping up the celebration of the 50th anniversary of championship football for the Illinois High School Association. And this is what it looked like back in 1974. It's Flanagan claimed that 1A championship. Decatur St. Teresa followed. Your Class 2A champions. In 3A, West Chicago. And then in 4A, Rockford East picks up the state title. And these are all first-timers. First year, Glenbrook North. 1974, the Class 5A champions. And that's what we were sitting with, the 5-class system. And that was back in the day where there wasn't all the playoff points. You had to win your conference to get into the state playoffs. They had the announcement all fall long of the top 50 high school football programs. This weekend, Mount Carmel was announced as the #1 football program as a vote of media members, coaches, various other individuals. Loyola Academy landed in the 9th spot. The top 50 football programs in Illinois over the past 50 years. It's really a very interesting list when you take a look at it and how it shakes out in the large schools, the small schools. A lot of work went into that.
Yeah, it's a great celebration of the history of the state championships here in Illinois. We've got some great tradition. We've got some incredible programs, and nice for them to be honored, and a lot of them on display here this weekend in Normal.
You have your East St. Louis's, your Joliet Catholics, Loyola. Lena Winslow is here. Fitzgerald gets the ball out, space McPherson again. He heads to that sideline. Nice tackle out in front. Getting a hand on the ankle of McPherson is Aiden Link, number 3.
And that's a really good job by Link to close on McPherson, who's been all over the field tonight for Loyola. He was our player to watch. He's got 125 yards now on the ground. He's also got 39 through the air and a score there as well. And so he has been Mr. Everything for Loyola tonight, the same way he has been all year.
York defense tested right here. Crucial 3rd down.
They like either quick screen to the bottom or one-on-one to the top.
Instead, Fitzgerald will take it. 1st down and more. Ryan Fitzgerald on his feet all the way down to the 32-yard line. 1st down, Ramblers.
That's a break-in tendency for Loyola, and York knows it. Their coaches were screaming, either it's going to be quick screen down at the bottom of your screen, because they had, and that's the way that Fitzgerald was looking, if you saw it there. They had their 2 big tight ends split out with their best wide receiver. They also had a one-on-one matchup at the top, and instead, Fitzgerald finds the seam and runs the quarterback draw. That's a break-in tendency and a really good play call there from Loyola in a crucial situation.
McPherson, the right side. Tough sledding, but he's inside the 30-yard line. 1 touchdown scored in this quarter. That was the 6-yard touchdown pass from Fitzgerald of Vradenburg that takes us to our lead for the Ramblers, 28-14. Coming up on a minute to play in the 3rd quarter.
Loyola's tempo has been methodical, I would call it, all night, but it seems like they have really slowed things down a little bit. They're trying to take possessions away from York, I think, now with 2 scores heading into the into the 4th quarter. I think they want to shorten this game as much as they can.
Fitzgerald play action. Oh, the ball clanks off the hands. This 20-degree weather, Will Carlson feels as if he should have caught that one.
Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to turn upfield too fast before you have the football. And he knows it. You can see right there, he kind of gives acknowledgement to his quarterback, says, hey, I think that one's on me. Right? He turned his head before he had the ball in his hands, trying to get the 1st down. But that could prove to be a crucial play for Loyola, because now it brings up 3rd and long.
A long look to that sideline. The play clock is under 10 seconds. We're down to 7 and 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They just get the snap off. Fitzgerald lofts it, looking for Carlson in the end zone. Touchdown. What a grab by Will Carlson. Couldn't handle the previous one. He hauls this one in for a 29-yard score, but a penalty flag is down. And everybody is walking back.
The 5-yard penalty will replay 3rd down.
To wipe out the touchdown.
They're going to say it's an ineligible man downfield on Loyola. I couldn't see who it was on the offensive line. Maybe they covered up an eligible wide receiver, and that might be the miscommunication there. But what a play. Oh, yeah, it's a run-pass option. That's what it is. So 78, it looks like, is downfield blocking a linebacker, because it may have been an RPO where Fitzgerald had the choice to either hand it off or throw it.
Dumps it off short. And that penalty will bring up a 4th down. So rather than a touchdown, all of a sudden the Ramblers sitting at 4th and 12.
Yeah, this could be huge. Loyola looks like they're going to go for it here. But a stop by York would certainly give them a ton of momentum heading into the 4th quarter.
Which direction will the Ramblers go? Over the middle. Complete. 1st down. And the drive will continue in the waning seconds of the 3rd quarter.
I have been waiting for Brandon Loftus to make a big play tonight. And this was the biggest one in the biggest moment that he could have made. His team needed the fourth down conversion. They got it. He goes to the big tight end in the middle. And Loyola is going to hold on to a 2-score lead heading into the fourth.
Loftus, 6'7" senior, headed to Miami, Ohio, also the basketball player, but he's got a quarter left as he's looking for a state championship.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBW Local 134.
Welcome back to the Class 8A state title game. Earlier this week, York coach Don Gelsomino shared his and his son's personal health struggles with us, and it was a message of hope. Coach Gelsomino, who was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and his 7-year-old son Trey, who has a genetic disorder, are both cancer survivors. The Dukes coach happily reported his son is doing great, and if you're watching the game closely, you'll see him running around ISU tonight. Coach Gelsomino said the experience gives you perspective on life and living, and it comes out in his coaching. He says he simply just loves football. He loves seeing his kids succeed, and he is having so much fun. He tries to bring that out in the players, too, because you never know when it's going to be over. He tries to live every day to the fullest because of that. So kind of him to share his story and that message with us, guys.
Great story, Nicole. Thank you very much. Final 12 minutes of this 8A championship ball game. Fitzgerald trying to pick a hole. He'll come up just a bit short, but he's inside the 5-yard line.
Well, we haven't seen him run very much tonight, but that's a guy who looks like he's fully healthy. Not nursing that hamstring really anymore. Nice run there by Fitzgerald to get inside the 5. Loyola can get a first down if they get inside the 2. But I wouldn't be surprised if they hand the ball here to McPherson and try and finish this thing off right now with a statement.
Fitzgerald to keep it. Waits behind that big offensive line. He'll get to about the 3. Third down, maybe a yard to go, a little more than a yard. Early moments of the fourth quarter. Here's the 10th play of this drive. McPherson, he'll go in. Touchdown, Ramblers. Tonight's fourth quarter touchdown is brought to you by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities. McPherson, his third touchdown of the night, the second on the ground.
You see the two best friends embrace right there, both going to Iowa, and McPherson with a great job following that big offensive line. We haven't talked enough about that offensive front for Loyola tonight, but they are the ones who really are the catalysts for the success in the running game for Loyola. They just tower over some of their opponents, and they've done a really nice job opening holes on this winning streak for the Ramblers.
And with that kick, the lead grows to 35-14. York scored first in this ball game. They've been outscored 35-7 since then. Workmanlike drive for the Ramblers. Took 4 minutes and 40 seconds, covered 61 yards in 10 plays. And if you're just joining us, Loyola bidding for a three-peat. We've already had Nazareth Academy and Mount Carmel accomplish that feat. Mount Carmel, by the way, with its 16th state championship. That's a state record. Loyola looking for its 6th title to go along with 4 second-place finishes. Last team to win 3 straight in 8A was Maine South in 2008 to 2010. The Ramblers have this well in control right now. Zach Zeman started kicking when he was a freshman, and he has put several balls into the end zone tonight. It's tough to do in a cold night like this one. Helm will take it, just stays inside that goal line. The coverage team is down to keep York from the 20-yard line. Full days of football. Start at 10 o'clock on Friday morning. State championship 8 classes to crown, and this is how it played out. A lot of big numbers there in day one. Althoff from Belleville defeated Lena Winslow by 43 points, 57-14. Then Chicago Christian, dominating performance against Maroa Forsyth in 2A. Montini did the same to Monticello in the 3A championship, 49-8. Then DePaul College Prep closed it out last evening with a 40-6 win. Nazareth Academy goes 3 straight with a 2-point win over Joliet Catholic Academy. East St. Louis by 20. Mount Carmel by 21. That's the margin we're looking at right here with Loyola on top of York.
Massel with another inside run there, and they run again to the unblocked defender. That read play, Loyola has made some adjustments on in the second half and done an outstanding job of defending that play here in the last 2 quarters.
Massel, a member of the track team, state qualifier. They'll throw it down the middle of the field. There is contact. The ball is incomplete. There was contact away from that pass. York trying to get it to number 5, Hayden Alexander. On the coverage is 23, Michael Dooley. Michael Dooley's dad on the coaching staff, Mike Dooley. And back to Massel. So he's got that spring track season. It may take him that long to work out all the bruises from tonight's ball game. What a warrior he has been out there.
Yeah, but you talked about his dad being an NHRA announcer. It's only fitting that his son would run a 4.440 when your dad's a drag racing announcer, right? I mean, that's a perfect fit. So I think he'll be just fine by the time track season comes around.
All right, then. Massel didn't get the play in time, so a timeout called by York, and we'll step aside as well. 10 minutes to play in your 8A championship ball game. Loyola has this one in hand.
All right, let's go. I'll shop for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself.
Don't forget toys for the dog.
Rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Bo Deschereaux is in his second season as the head coach at Loyola Academy. Won a state championship last year. He took over for a very famous head coach. That's John Holisek. John Holisek with a state championship in 2022. That came over Lincoln Way East. That started this run that is now 2, almost 3. He takes that traditional Gatorade bath. And the interesting part about Holisek is head coach there tonight, assistant coach.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Bo Deschereaux earlier this week, he mentioned that Coach Holisek was now on staff helping with the linebackers, said that he's the one that reached out to Holisek and kept asking. He says he thinks he finally said yes just to get Deschereaux off his back. But that's a pretty good assistant coach to have with an unbelievable pedigree, and you can tell that this defense has taken another step up with Holisek back on staff, helping Deschereaux now as the head coach.
Massel deep down looking for Helm. He cuts to the inside, and with that little cut is able to draw the penalty flag. Michael Dooley will be flagged for that interference call.
Been a few questionable calls, whether or not there was contact at the top of routes tonight. This one, no question.
Interference, number 23, Loyola. That's a 15-yard penalty, and that'll result in the first down.
Fourth penalty for 30 yards. See Dooley, he's been hobbling a little bit as well. Here's a look back at that call.
Yeah, the ball is thrown a little bit inside, and when the receiver tries to cross face, that's when Dooley gets crossed up with him. As you see, he's going to go to the sideline. Still appears to be a little banged up. The trainers will take a look at him. But fortunate for York that they can keep this drive alive.
Fresh set of downs. Massel's able to plant and throw, and that one's batted away. Excellent defensive coverage. And credit to Charlie Pryor. He was all over Hunter Stepanek.
That ball thrown a little bit behind Stepanek, and Pryor's there step for step. Loyola's secondary can really close. You see the patience there by the safety as he does a good job taking his read steps, watching the play develop, and then jumps the route at the exact right time. Loyola needs York needs Massel to break one more big run to get them right back in this football game.
He will have to do it out of a scramble, and he will not be able to score it away. You know, they've somewhat taken that out of their play calling here in the last, quarter and a half.
Yeah, they know that they're trying to chase points, and so they're trying to put the ball in the air a little bit more. And when they become one-dimensional, they're an easier team to stop. And so I would have liked to have seen them try and get Massel going a little bit more here in the third quarter, but just wasn't in the game plan when you're down 21 to a good Loyola team. You got to try and get scores quickly, and you try and do that through the air.
15 pass attempts for Massel tonight. That was the first sack of the senior.
Please reset the game clock to 9:15. 9:15.
Okay, so they're resetting the game clock to 9:15 rather than the 9:09 that's up there right now. Looking for 17 yards here on third down. Massel in trouble again. And it will be punting time for the Dukes.
Max Mendoza on the pressure there for Loyola. What they've done a really nice job of, and the adjustment they made at halftime, it looks like, is they've got that Mike linebacker now spying Massel, right? Because he's so dynamic when he's got the ball in his hands and getting outside of the pocket. It looks like any time now he tries to break contain of those defensive ends, it's been a linebacker that has been spying him, that's closing and forcing him into those throws, maybe a little bit earlier than he would like. And then he's not able to convert those third and longs with his feet. So a really good job there by Loyola of spying the talented quarterback.
Nobody deep for the Ramblers. Ball comes back a little bit. They'll have it near midfield. 8:51 to play in this game. New units coming onto the field. Offense for Loyola, defense for York. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual. We're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
With 8:51 to play, it's now time for the Menards Play of the Game. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. We didn't have to wait long for this. In the first 4 minutes, this is Jimmy Connors. He'll bust this for 74 yards and a score.
Yeah, I mean, it sent that York sideline and these York fans into a frenzy when the Dukes went up 7-0 on the big run by Jimmy Connors. Now, the storyline has been that since that play, he went down with an ankle injury. And that just kind of devastated, I think, York offensively and defensively, losing one of your emotional and physical leaders on the field. They've done a really good job trying to stay with Loyola best they can, as you see Connors on crutches on the sideline. They've worked hard to keep Loyola in check, but at the end of the day, Loyola just too big and too physical.
With 8:42 remaining, we would expect to see Loyola Academy keep the ball on the ground. Luke Foster gets the carry that time. Evan Gahn with the tackle. Came into this game 116 tackles. Last year, his season ended with a broken collarbone before week 4. Now, Gahn, a lacrosse player. He really feels like lacrosse and football combine very well, complement each other. Agility, grit. Fitzgerald patient with the play clock. It got down to about 4. Foster will get the carry again. Get up to midfield. Hey, kudos go to Illinois State University, the football team today, winning first round of the playoffs, defeated Southeast Missouri State by a score of 35-27. And what's significant about that, Chris, as a former Redbird, you're a happy guy, but the idea that not only do they advance into the playoffs, they gave up a home game this weekend for that. Here is your final score. Moving on to the second round. They'll be at UC Davis next week. They played on the road so that the state finals would stay right here. Brock Spack, the head coach, was very insistent upon that this is where the high school tournament, the high school finals deserve to be played. Pass to the outside, misses wide left.
Yeah, the Redbirds gained a little bit of national attention for going on the road and playing that FCS football game at SEMO being the higher seed. And it was great for the program. You're right. It is, if you follow the Redbirds or you follow high school football in Illinois, you might have heard Coach Spack, who I played for, talk a little bit about you can't buy the kind of advertisement for your program or for the town that you get when you get 8 high school state finals on your home turf. And so I think that the coaching staff for the Redbirds happy to trade one road first-round playoff game for the opportunity to have these young men play their state final here at Hancock Stadium. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the state finals moving to normal from that Champaign and DeKalb rotation. And I think a lot of people share the same sentiment as Coach Spack. There's no better place to have the state finals than right here in the heart of the state in Central Illinois, Hancock Stadium. It's a great venue, not too big. The crowds have been outstanding. The campus has been tremendous and welcoming to folks. And so hopefully everybody has gotten a great experience here in Normal for all 8 of these games.
There is the very first program 50 years ago. The IHSA football championships played right here in Normal. You know, we were talking earlier, Chris, with the ISU playing at SEMO, that that team may be back in time. I'm guessing not only is the team back, they're probably in bed right now, given how we've run a little bit over schedule here. It's a little bit 2 hours behind.
Yeah, we thought
time.
some of those players might show up here for the 8A game, but you're right. I mean, they might be in bed. At least I think Coach Spack hopes that they're in bed.
Sure.
I was in college at one point, too, and it is Saturday night. But let's just say I think that the coaching staff hopes that the Redbirds are in bed by now.
Flag thrown by the back judge, about a 20-yard toss. And that's Helm that's down for the Dukes. Fenton Helm, 6'2", 190-pound senior. We've seen a few players go down with injuries here today. Both teams banged up. You know, this has been a well-played ball game. We've seen some other games this weekend where there's numerous penalties, no real rhythm to it, but a well-played game. I say that as we have a penalty flag on the field, but
half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
a couple of excellent teams. That's why they're here, right? York and Loyola Academy. Helm will make his way off the field. Thumbs up.
Yeah, we hope to see him back on the field here soon. It has been a really, really good game. 2 good teams with a lot of history. We talked about both of these teams very familiar with each other over the last few years in the playoffs. Loyola had gotten the better of York, and for the first couple of quarters, it seemed like we were going to have quite the game on our hands. But you mentioned it earlier. After going down 7-0, Loyola outscoring the Dukes 35-7 here in the last 2.5, 3 quarters. The Dukes just really no answer.
Screen over the head of Duda. Well, this was a 14-14 game halfway through the second quarter after Nassau scored on a 4-yard touchdown run, but it's been all Ramblers since that point. Henry Duda, I want to say on in relief with Jimmy Connors. Duda, 1,000 rusher in his own right. And a lot of those yards, of course, with Connors going both ways, getting a breather on offense throughout the course of this season. A season that sees the Dukes with an 11-2 record coming into this game. Third down play, deep over the field looking for Helm, about a yard too far.
Yeah, he had a step on the defender. Just can't come up with it.
Well, we don't have the entire game-by-game stats for York, but Bruno Massel right now 6 of 19. I don't think the game plan, the hopeful game plan for York was to have him throw 20 passes in this ball game. He's also rushed 17 times for 141 yards.
Yeah, they've become a little bit one-dimensional in the second half. And like we said, that's when they started to have to chase points. When you're down 14 or 21 to a team like Loyola, you feel like you got to try and get it back in big chunks. In reality, there's no play on that play sheet that can get you 21. So you got to try and stick to the game plan as best you can. Now, you have to factor in that Massel's taken a couple of hits himself here. And he's done a really good job of staying in this football game for York. But I think if you asked him truthfully how much he's hurting, I think he would tell you he's pretty banged up as Loyola can start to taste that state title on their sideline. But you got to give credit to York the way that they've battled tonight, because this is no tall task, or excuse me, this is a tall task to try and go toe-to-toe with Loyola. They know it all too well from the last couple of playoff appearances that they've had. The Ramblers have ended their season, and they've given Loyola everything that they could handle here tonight.
Breaking through the line, across the 40-yard line, and thrown down to the ground is McPherson. Tossed down by Thomas Hostler. Well, the York offense put up 266 yards of offense in the first half, only 50 yards here in the second half for the Dukes.
Yeah, the story of the second half has been the adjustments that the Loyola defense has made. They've done a really nice job spying Massel. The defensive secondary has come up huge. They've done a really, really fantastic job of making York one-dimensional, and that's why they've been able to jump on them here in the second half.
This time it's Foster that gets the carry. Luke Foster missed all of last season with an injury. He had to watch the championship game in the sidelines. He's going to get some late carries here in this one. And it is just let the clock run time for the Loyola offense.
Yep. Loyola's going to try and snap this ball with under 5 seconds on the play clock every time now if they can, and try and make sure that York doesn't even get another chance to touch the football.
Well, clock down to 9 seconds right now. Fitzgerald very calm in the backfield. He'll take the snap with 4. McPherson. And stutter steps along the way as he passes through the line.
Yeah, Loyola taking their sweet time here.
All they need is a yard to move the chains. Foster will get that yard. Couple extras. He gets out to about the 22-yard line.
And if you're Loyola on that sideline, you're just starting to do math in your head on the coaching staff. You're thinking, depending on how quickly we can get the next first down, it's 1, maybe 2 more first downs before we can start to take a knee. I don't know if York will use their timeouts that they've got in their pocket. They've got 2 to take if they need them. But this one's all but over. Loyola is going to go for the three-peat here in 8A.
It will be the third three-peater, if you will, of this championship Saturday. Another 5-yard pickup on first down. Keep an eye on those orange jugs. Water, Gatorade inside possibly. Might they leave that bench area? We will keep an eye on that. Oh, Deschro, yep, you better zip it up, Coach.
Coach, look at him.
Put that hood up, get that headset off.
Look at him. Button up. Look at him. He knows it. That's the conversation that's going on right now. He says, I am not getting doused. Yeah, we'll see, Coach.
He was looking over his shoulder.
See. Uh-huh. Great work by our camera crew to get that conversation.
Our defensive player of the game is brought to you by Union Carpenters and Contractors, partners in building communities and supporting working families. And where are we going to go for that? Here in our 7A game. Look at this defensive move by head coach Jordan Lynch, avoiding the dunking. I'm sorry, Caravan. Missed your opportunity there.
That might have been his second dunking because it looked like the shirt was already wet. But he did a nice job to avoid that second one.
He still has some moves. We're down underneath 2 minutes. Foster, the senior, will get another carry. Why would Luke Foster like to get into the end zone after missing last season? Only a couple of snaps left in this game, however.
Yeah, one more first down to move the chains here on 4th. And then Loyola's one knee away from the game being over. I wonder if they'll even snap this ball and go for it, or if they'll just take the knee right now and give it back to York. We'll see.
They'll take that clock.
They are going to line up, yeah.
Yep. And that should be enough for the first down. Loyola state champions in 1993, 2015, 18, 22, 23. He is a little bit short. It'll be a first down for York. And now the Ramblers can cut loose a little bit here. You know, you think of the pressure, the expectations. They were doubted earlier in the year. A couple of early losses. They recovered and have dominated through the latter portion of this season. Massel straight up through the middle. Get some new players into the ball game for the Dukes.
Well, if that's the last play of the game, it's only fitting that it stayed in Massel's hands if you're York. Looks like they are going to pull him off. That's going to be the final play. What a season both these teams have had. Congratulations to Loyola. Tremendous 8A state final.
Pat Fitzgerald coming down from the booth, former head coach at Northwestern. And he and his son will claim a state championship, the 6th in Loyola Academy history, 3 straight. Tonight, 35-14 winners over York, making its first appearance in the state finals. I mentioned workmanlike for one of the drives for Loyola Academy, but that's what it felt like tonight for the entire game. This was just a solid performance. Did not flinch when York scored first, when the Dukes tied it, and then just put this one away.
Well, you know, there's always a lot of questions on this weekend about who the best team in the state is, and that's 1A through 8A. And I think a lot of people had those questions this year because we didn't see as many dominating teams in each class. We only saw one undefeated team in the entire state, and that was in 1A, Belleville-Altoff. And so I think a lot of people came into Saturday wondering who the best team in the entire state was. And, man, I tell you what, the way a lot of these teams played 5 through 8A, I think those questions still exist. But make no mistake, Loyola Academy and the season they had after starting 1 and 2 certainly cements their place as one of the best in the state for 2024.
35-14 winners tonight over York. We'll step aside in just a moment. We come back. We've got ceremonies and interviews for you.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of salutes. Capture this moment and go forward together.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
There's your final score. The champs in Class 8A, Loyola Academy knocking off York 35-14. You know, we've been spotlighting the Gatorade celebrations, the dunking of the coaches. Well, they take all types of forms, Chris. This one, not quite the orthodox form.
Yeah, I mean, look at this melee that happens over there on the Loyola sideline. That's Coach Deschereaux that goes down at the 30. That's only after they take out a cameraman and one of their own teammates to try and get to the head coach. And look at them. Success. Yeah, well, I don't know how successful they were. We're going to find out here in a second because I think Nicole has head coach.
Yeah, let's go to Nicole right now.
Coach, you put the finishing touches on a three-peat tonight. Two of those titles belong to you. One of them belongs to John Holichek, a guy who I know is very important to you. So much so you wanted him on the sidelines here, back on this coaching staff. Well, he's here with you tonight. What does it mean to you to carry on the legacy here at Loyola Academy?
It means everything. As an alum, you know, for our entire Loyola Academy community, the fact of the success that we've had, it means the world.
And talk to me about Ryan Fitzgerald, your quarterback, and Drew McPherson. They each put up 3 touchdowns apiece. They're headed to Iowa together, best friends. What did it mean to coach them this year, and how fun was it?
It's extremely fun. Just 2 amazing kids, 2 amazing competitors. They great teammates. They're I can't say enough good things about them. They're awesome kids.
Enjoy, Coach. Go celebrate.
Thanks. Let's go.
All right, over to the public dress announcer now for the trophy ceremony.
Fans, please direct your attention to the 50-yard line for the awards presentation fueled by Illinois Farm Families. Members of the Illinois High School Association Board of Directors are with us this evening to present the team and individual awards. Representing the board are Augie Fontanetta of New Trier, Ron Lear of Plainfield North, Dwayne Bates of Glenbard East, and Tom Shergan of Chicago de La Salle. Finished the season in second place, the York High School Dukes. Representing York this evening, Superintendent Dr. Keisha Campbell, Principal Dr. Jessica Hurt, Athletic Director Rob Wagner, Coach Don Gelsomino, and the captains of runner-up York. Special medallions are being presented to the administrators and individual awards to Coach Gelsomino and his team captains. now the second place trophy will be presented to the Dukes of York, who finished the season with a final record of 11 wins and 3 losses. And finishing the season as the Class 8A state champions, the Loyola Ramblers. On hand this evening, President Greg Ostdyke, Principal Tim Devine, Athletic Director Genevieve Atwood, Coach Bo Deschereaux, and the captains of champion Loyola Academy. Special medallion would be presented to the administrators, and individual awards presented to Coach Deschereaux and his team captains. And now this year's state championship Class 8A team trophy will be presented to the Ramblers of Loyola Academy, who finished the season with a final record of 12 wins and 2 losses.
One of those players that are holding that championship trophy is our Country Financial Player of the Game, Drew McPherson. And that Player of the Game brought to you by Country Financial. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more. Well, Chris, we wrap up
High School
2 days of coverage. Your thoughts here on this game?
What an incredible effort that McPherson had here in the 8A game to close out a tremendous weekend of football here at Hancock Stadium. I think he had 3 total touchdowns, almost 200 all-purpose yards for Loyola. We talked about him as the player to watch, and he certainly lived up to the hype in this 8A game. I mean, just an unbelievable performance by Loyola, and every single champion that we saw here through 2 days, I mean, they earned it. They earned their way to this spot. They earned everything that they got here at Hancock Stadium this weekend, and give Loyola a ton of credit for being the last one standing in 8A.
Well, we'd like to thank everybody that joined us for this one. Chris Highland, my partner, Nicole Sedevy down on the field, the entire crew up here in the booth. We talked about the cameraman. So we'd like to thank our entire crew for a great weekend here at Hancock Stadium. And congratulations to all those teams that made it here to the state finals. So we thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next year. Now let's head back to the studio one final time with Marshall Harris, Tim O'Halloran, and Kenny McReynolds. I'm Dave Bernhardt. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Dave, Chris, Nicole. If you're staying up late with us, we thank you for staying up, first of all. And we're happy to cap off what has truly been a power Saturday with a Loyola win. Not because this is the power I or the wishbone or even the wing T, but this is the power Saturday because of the traditional powers taking over and winning all 4 of these games today. Loyola becomes the third team on the day to make it back-to-back-to-back state championships, joining East St. Louis, who also, by the way, wins their 3rd title in the last 5 years. What did you make of the dominant performance, a 35-14 win for Loyola in our 8A championship
Well, they
game?
did everything we thought they were going to do. They slowed the game down. They became very physical. McPherson did everything we thought he would do. He rushed for 150 yards. Fitzgerald passed for 160 and 3 touchdowns. So Loyola did everything they were supposed to do, everything they needed to do to become a 3-peat champion.
As you said, my friend, the traditional powers are the traditional powers. I thought York handled themselves, showed themselves very well in this game, just came up short. And again, that's a tall mountain to climb. This is their first time here. I thought pretty impressive performance from York.
First-year coach, too.
Yep. No question. No question.
So you look at a team like York, they do a good job in hanging around for a half, but then getting shut out in the second half. That's where kind of the separation was there for the Ramblers as they get yet another state championship. Let's take a look back at how this weekend unfolded. 8 games in 2 days at Hancock Stadium down in Normal, Illinois. And it started off with Althoff Catholic getting a 57-14 win. Chicago Christian with a shutout in their first ever appearance, 47-0. Then in 3A, it was Montini Catholic getting it done. And 4A, DePaul College Prep finished the day strong. 4 blowouts on day 1, but that wasn't the story on day 2, at least not when we got it started in 5A, because that's when Nazareth Academy had to hold off a late charge. A 2-point conversion attempt that was not held on to by Joliet Catholic was the difference in that one. East St. Louis, well, there's a reason they go just about every year to the state championship game, and they get back into the winning column with a win over Geneva. And then it was Mount Carmel. The team celebrated as the best program over the 50 years of the history of this championship with a win over Batavia. And as we talked about, Loyola Academy over York, double-digit seeds. Throw all that out the window because we know who's good at the end of the day. Kenny, what was your biggest takeaway from this weekend?
My biggest takeaway was Elliott. He's the best player in the state. He showed it today. He passed for 6 touchdowns. He ran for 1. The best player in the state of Illinois.
What about you, Edgy?
There's a guy down in Althoff named Deidre Hill who I think put on an epic performance that I think we're going to be talking about for years and years to come.
For me, it was Chicago Christian. First time ever in the state championship game. They take the state championship in 2A. CJ Cesario, a first-year head coach, getting it done in that matter. All in all, just a great weekend of performances and teams celebrating. And we're just happy you decided to stay up late and hang out with us. For Edgy, for Kenny, I'm Marshall saying so long. Hope you enjoyed it.
There is no greater compliment or form of flattery in this business than when I have a client say, my father sent me to you, or my wife had you had her case a couple years ago. They feel confident and comfortable sending their children, their wives, their spouses, their grandmothers. I think that's such an important part of our job, is this level of trust and community that we've built for ourselves and with our clients. At this point, I'm like, I might be part of the family.
The Illinois Hammer Injury Attorney.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger over a T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a deal, relax with some hydro massage feels. Instead of in-laws in your face.
Did you hear the owl?
Get some space at any of our 2,600 locations with the PF Black Card. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th.
You're watching The U. We now join your regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
LAPD on your knees now! Police, show your hands!
Hands behind your back! Hands behind your back, right now! Right now!
Two. LAPD, stay calm.
Where's Zoe? Where's Miller?
All exits are coming. Damn sure they didn't just get raptured out of here. Chris, Street, clear the right side. Deacon Tan, you with me? Tan, go. Make your way to the exits, calmly. Two.
Room clear.
Tack lights. If they made it to the roof, that's flat access to anywhere in the plaza. They could be outside the perimeter already.
They're hunkered down somewhere in that attic.
Let's get a pole cam up there.
Here 17 to 20, David. Visual of suspect crossing northwest parking lot with female hostage.
Move.
Zoe, we're almost free.
No angle. She's in the way. Chris, Street, we gotta get crosshairs on. Drop back, get your 308, see if you can line up a shot.